Texas Air National Guard, 4 Apache helicopters, and an impressive flyover here in Houston. We'll be continuing from Reliant Stadium in a moment. We'll have the coin toss. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 out of Westwood 1. It is time now for the Super Bowl 38 coin toss, brought to you by Subway. At Subway, you can have both sides of the coin, a low-fat sandwich or an Atkins-friendly wrap. Subway, eat fresh. The referee is Ed Hockley, and
now we need
here he is.
Carolina over here. Carolina over here.
Line up on the 45.
And gentlemen, when I ask you to move up, just come up about 2 or 3 steps right here, okay? Who's going to call the toss? Okay, I'll ask you, but when I ask you to move up to here. Hey, gentlemen, guys, excuse me, when I ask you to move up, just move up to about right here, and then we'll do the toss at that point, okay? Let's come on right up to about here.
Say, Ed Hockley is directing traffic down there right now as he's talking to both teams, and
good to see you.
Also some of the former players down there on the sideline.
And you know you don't want to mess with Ed Hockley.
He's got big pipes, man. I'm telling you, he's got some guns for him. I'll tell you, you want to fight with that guy.
And an attorney.
Great to see you.
Phoenix, Arizona. Right now, a little social gathering taking place before the toss of the coin.
You can't even sue him.
Now, Mr. Tittle, I'll tell you when I'd like you to come forward, and then I'll give you the coin, and you'll toss it.
Man, he's impressive, isn't he?
A regular old silver dollar.
Ed Hockley, his second assignment as a Super Bowl referee.
No, I can't.
Look, he's actually even cracking jokes down there. I guess they're waiting for TV, I think. I don't know.
I'm going to come up to you, huh?
He may not realize the microphone is on.
Okay. Well, we're going to
Well, he's on in our headset. He might not be on the TV headset, though, I can tell you that. But this is the behind-the-scenes type of stuff that radio brings you.
Exactly.
You know, there's got to be somebody directing traffic down there. For us, it's Howie Deneroff here, you know, as he's, you know, trying to tell us what to do and how to say it. But it's Ed Hockley down on the field. What a spectacle, and what a beautiful stadium, huh, Marv?
Great place, second year of existence, the home of the Houston Texans.
You know, they're talking about building a stadium in New York. I say get the plans from Bob McNair, he's the owner of the Texans, and build this exact stadium. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous.
See, once again, this is similar to Foxborough. You're happy because they gave you the first-rate treatment, speeding you upstairs from the NFL Today set. So you're a happy guy.
Getting Toby, Keith, Yanni, everybody out of the way. Here he comes. He's got to get up there on Westwood 1 radio. I mean, it was terrific.
Rodney Harrison, Larry Izzo, Richard Seymour, and Ted Johnson.
You got it. When we're done, you got it.
Joining us for the coin toss are 6 of the 24 native Texans who are members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Please welcome Earl Campbell, Ollie Matson, Don Maynard, Mike Singletary, Gene Upshaw, and Y.A. Tittle. The referee for today's game is Ed Hockley. And to toss the coin, Y.A. Tittle.
But the only 2 people that aren't out there are Doc and Rigo.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Please come forward. Congratulations and welcome to Super Bowl 38. Carolina has been designated the visiting team today, so they will call the toss. This is tails, this is heads. Tails, heads. Heads and tails. Will you call the toss? Tails. If the call is tails, Mr. Tittle, will you do us the honor of tossing the coin, please? The call is tails. The call is tails. It is tails. Carolina has won the toss. You wish to receive. Which direction? Just the way you're set. Carolina has won the toss and will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right, the Carolina Panthers win the toss, will receive. Y.A. Tittle, one-time Giant 49er, with the coin toss, and we'll take a break. We'll be back at the Acura broadcast booth for the opening kickoff in a moment. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. The Carolina Panthers have won the toss, so they will receive Adam Vinatieri in his second Super Bowl appearance. We'll kick it off to the combination of Rod Smart. Steve Smith also back there. Rod Smart of the He Hate Me of XFL fame has had an excellent season in returning kicks, averaging 23 yards a return, including a 100-yard touchdown.
And I'll tell you right now, Jake Delhomme, his heart is going 100 miles an hour on the sideline. He's going to come out here first as the starting quarterback of the Panthers. And we're going to look and see what Romeo Crennel has devised for him early in this game. That's a real key, how Jake handles the pressure from the New England Patriots.
All right, they're lined up and ready to go, and Super Bowl 38 is underway. The kickoff by Vinatieri, taken by Smart at the 6. He's to the 10, 15, 20, angles right. He's tripped up as he got across the 22-yard line. A 17-yard return. Matt Chatham, backup linebacker, able to make the stop. And the Panthers, led by Jake Delhomme, will go to the offense. They have Todd Stussy and Jordan Gross at the tackles. Gross, the rookie from Utah, first-round draft pick, has played well. Geno James, Kevin Donnelly at the guards, and Jeff Mitchell, who did appear in the Super Bowl with the victorious Baltimore Colts, spent 4 years with Baltimore, is the center. The running backs are Stephen Davis and Brad Hoover. Hoover is the fullback as Carolina starts out from their 23-yard line. They line up in an offset eye, now shift to the left, and the handoff to Davis, running to his left, out to the 24. He is stopped, picked up about a yard. Mike Vrabel, the outside linebacker, making the tackle. Bobby Hamilton, Ted Washington, Richard Seymour up front in the 3-4. Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Roman Pfeiffer, and Vrabel are the linebackers. Ty Law with 3 interceptions in the AFC Championship game, and Tyrone Poole at the corners. Eugene Wilson, rookie from Illinois, and the hard-hitting Rodney Harrison are the deep men. It is a second down and 9 at the 24. Again out of the offset eye. Here is Delhomme with the handoff. Davis is tracking off the left side, able to get to the 29-yard line. Short of a first down. Washington on the stop. Davis picking up 5.
Well, this is exactly what Dan Henning wants to do. Slow the game down, take the pressure off of the young quarterback, and now it's 3rd and 3. A very manageable third down conversion opportunity now for Jake Delhomme. And, we've already seen it. Stephen Davis twice. Bang, right up the middle. This is exactly what everybody has expected.
Stephen Davis back from the injured left quad. Suffered against the Rams in the divisional playoff. Now Delhomme looking it over, calls signals, he's back to throw, looking right, can't find anyone, and then fires one, and it is incomplete. Out the 40-yard line, intended for Steve Smith, thrown a bit high, and it's 3 and out for the Panthers.
Well, a little high, he's a little nervous, it's okay, it's normal. This time they come out with an empty backfield, and they elect to keep a couple of the guys in to thwart any blitzing looks that the New England Patriots would give you, and Delhomme just kind of got shoved out to the right of the pocket and threw it high and away.
All right, here's Todd Sauerbrunn, one of the best punters in the NFL, headed to the Pro Bowl. Back at his 15, Troy Brown, the single safety at the 25. The snap is taken, and Sauerbrunn sends one high and deep. Brown takes 26-yard line out to the 30, 35, finds running room to the 45, and then tackled from behind at midfield. 45-yard punt, but a 29-yard return by Brown. Carl Hampton was able to get Brown from behind.
And Marv, as I told you in the pregame, it's all about field position in a defensive battle like this. And so far, right now, a bad punt by Sauerbrunn. He kicks it low. Troy Brown gets a good return to bring it back to the other side of the 50. And Tom Brady sitting right here, great field position. I would not be surprised to see them come out and open it up here in the first 3 plays and throw one deep down the field.
Patriots start out at the Carolina 47-yard line. Anquan Smith and Larry Centers in the backfield. They're lined up in the eye. Brady calling signals. Brady takes. Brady to throw on first down. He throws. He completes and has a first down across the 35 35. He connected with Deion Branch for 17 yards on the play.
This is exactly what you want to do if you're Charlie Weis and the Patriots. Put the pressure on early. Now, one thing I did notice on that play is that Julius Peppers got that back there pretty quick. He got around the right tackle of the New England Patriots, Tom Ashworth. So Brady's got to be aware of that. Get rid of the ball quickly, just like he did.
First down at the 31. Kevin Falk in the backfield. Gibbons flank to the left side. The handoff to Falk straight ahead and gets inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Met by the strong side linebacker, Greg Favors, a 5-yard advance for Falk. Patriots have Matt Light and Tom Ashworth at the tackles. Russ Hochstein is playing for the injured Damian Woods at left guard. Joe Andruzzi on the other side of the center. The rookie from Boston College, Dan Copeland. Matt Light did an excellent job 2 weeks ago against White Freeney. He's going up against Mike Rucker. Now Smith in the backfield. It is a second down and 5. Here's play action. Brady looks, he throws, has a bullet that is caught inside the 20. It's another Patriot first down. Troy Brown on the reception. That's good for 12. And Brady and the Patriots with a good-looking drive in their opening series.
It looks like Troy Brown might have got poked in the eye or hit right in the forehead or at the top of the nose on that last play, but a triangle formation, 3 wide receivers to the right, and Troy Brown just sits down nicely in the zone, and Tom Brady accurate. Charlie Weis aggressive play calling right now, 3 in a row.
And it's a first down at the Carolina 14-yard line. They're lined up in the eye. Antoine Smith is back. Here's Brady back to throw. Brady throws. He just throws it away at the near side. Everyone covered. Centers was in the area, but he threw it away.
All right, Marv, watching film of the Carolina Panthers defense, you get inside their 20-yard line, they're going to heat it up. And John Fox realizes that his defense a little bit back on their heels. That last play, they brought the blitz. Brady read it and threw it away. He does not want to make a mistake down this part of the field. Worst case scenario is come away with a field goal.
There was no intentional grounding on the play. The ball went over a receiver's head. By rule, that is not intentional grounding.
Good job, Ed Hockley, telling us what's going on.
Explanation. Yes, explanation from the referee, Ed Hockley, regarding the fact that Brady threw it away. The centers were somewhere in the area. Antoine Smith is the running back. Brady looking at a 2nd and 10 at the 14-yard line. Brady calls out signals. Smith alone deep back, and now we have penalty flags thrown as Brady pulls out of the center.
False start. Offense number 12. Head bob. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Head bob.
You know what, on Brady. You know what that is? That's the officials being told before the game by John Fox to watch Tom Brady when he goes to the hard count. And Tom Brady did say to us this week that he was going to use the hard count to try to slow down the pass rush of the Carolina Panthers a little bit. But I have to tell you something. You can see that the Panthers are a little bit jittery. You know, they're not like in sync just quite yet. So, you know, they have to force an interception, a big play here, and I think that's what obviously Fox is going to try to do with a blitz.
It's a 2nd and 15 at the 19 as Branch splits wide, left side. Brady ducks in under. Now making a change at the line. Signals being called. Brady takes. He's back to throw. Takes a look. Throws end zone. He fires, and it is incomplete. He overthrows to the back of the end zone. It's intended for Dedrick Ward. 7-year man from Northern Iowa side as a free agent. One-time Jet, one-time Dolphin.
The one thing Tom Brady can sense right now, and I can see it from up here, is that he's going to get pressure from these defensive ends, Rucker and Peppers. Boy, they are really pushing both tackles back into the quarterback. Matt Light, the left tackle, and Tom Ashworth, the right tackle, having all they can with these 2 defensive ends.
It'll be a 3rd and 15 at the 19. They're lined up in the eye. Again, it's Antoine Smith as the feature back. Now the handoff to Smith finds some running room, goes up the middle, and then he is stopped. He was able to get to the 18-yard line, but the weak side linebacker, Will Witherspoon, came over to get the reps on Smith. A short pickup, and here comes the field goal unit.
I think Charlie Weis was afraid of handling the blitz, and he too can sense that his tackles are having trouble. So a little give-up play right there as we bring on Adam Vinatieri. And remember, the last time he was in this building, he missed 2 field goals against the Texans.
This a 36-yard attempt. The angle is to the right. And as they line up again, a flag is down.
It's going to be the 2nd penalty, I think, on the Patriots inside the red zone. This could be a legal motion. or movement against somebody. Take a look and see what this looks like.
Delay of game by the defense, number 71, simulated the start of the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
That's Matt Willig.
Oh, man, you don't hear that much. And Matt Willig is an offensive tackle that is on the field goal block team simply because of his size. He goes about 6'8", has real long arms. As a matter of fact, I had dinner with him this week. He didn't tell me he was going to do something stupid like that.
All right, a 31-yard attempt. Boomer bringing us the other side of the equation. Here's the snap. It's placed down. The kick is up. No good. It is no good from 31.
Something about this building that Adam Vinatieri doesn't like, and what a break for the Carolina Panthers.
And we're talking about one of the most accurate kickers in the history of this New England franchise, and Mr. Clutch when it comes to postseason.
Maybe it needs to be snowing or raining or something for him.
It's the Panthers and the Patriots. Scoreless. We'll take a break. This is Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 38. Reminder that for every touchdown scored inside the red zone tonight, Milwaukee Electric Tool will make a donation to Habitat for Humanity, heavy-duty helping for families in need. Adam Vinatieri missing from 31 yards away. He missed 9 field goal attempts during the regular season. This is second miss of the postseason. And Boomer, remember, in that Carolina Panthers St. Louis Rams divisional playoff game, Carolina's red zone defense earlier in the game was a significant factor. They held the Rams to early field goals. Well, in this case, they held the Patriots, and they did not connect on a field goal. As Carolina takes over, the handoff to Davis off the left side, and just a short pickup as they start out from the 21.
You know, very difficult to run against the Patriots front seven, and specifically Richard Seymour, number 93, their right defensive end. He likes to be called a defensive tackle, but in a 3-4, he's an end. And, of course, the big man right in the middle, and that's Ted Washington, 6'5", they have him listed at 365, but I don't know. He's a big man. And, you know, we're going to see a lot of this because John Fox and Dan Henning, you know, they're not going to get scared out of not running the ball because they haven't made some yards. It's just going to continue and pound it away.
2nd and 8, just inside the 23. Panthers moving from right to left. We are early in the first with no score. Here's Stallone back to throw. He throws downfield, and it is incomplete. Pass at midfield intended for Muhsin Muhammad, who had 54 catches during the regular season. Boomer, not a burner type receiver, but a strong guy at 6'2", 217 pounds.
And a former Pro Bowler too, Marvin. You know, the Patriots have given Jake a lot of looks. I can already see in that particular situation, they did have those 2 deep safeties and Teddy Bruschi running with Musa Muhammad down the middle of the field. Jake got lucky. There were 3 Patriots around his intended receiver.
Now Ricky Kroll is flanked to the right. Davis, Stallone deep back. It's a 3rd down and 8. Here's Stallone to throw. He's under pressure, and down he goes. Back behind the 15-yard line. Taken down by Mike Rabel, who had 9.5 sacks during the regular season. Earlier in the year, he played with a broken left arm, playing with a soft cast, and still came up with 9.5.
And that's just crazy. I don't know about that, but you know what happens when you play against the Patriots? Your offensive linemen kind of get themselves a little bit confused as to who they're going to block, and Rabel's normally a stand-up linebacker. This time he comes free inside on a little bit of a stunt with Richard Seymour and gets back to Jake Stallone.
So the punting unit is on, and Todd Sauerbrunn will punt for the 2nd time. He's at his goal line. Troy Brown is back. He had a beautiful return earlier this first quarter. Brown off that punt takes it back at the 35, running to his left, looking for a block, tries to get to the outside across the 45, and then runs it out of bounds, and a flag is thrown. So Troy Brown with a 13-yard return on a 50-yard boot by Sauerbrunn.
And this is going to be a penalty, it looks like, against the Patriots. And if that's the case, you know, the Patriots have kind of been making mistakes that are just absolutely killing them.
During the return, holding by the receiving team, number 35. It's a 10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. New England keeps the ball, 1st down.
It's on Patrick Pass, the backup fullback. So we will take a break. There is no score with 9:12 remaining in this opening quarter. Boom and I will return to the Acura broadcast booth after this timeout. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Patriots will start out from their 38 in a moment. Right here, let's send it over to Jim Gray, who's standing by with Houston Texans head coach Don Capers. Jim.
Well, Marv, that's exactly right, and he goes way back to the original coach of the Carolina Panthers. He was there for 4 years, took him to the NFC Championship game. Dom, you're now with the Texans, but how proud are you of seeing your former team in the Super Bowl?
Well, I couldn't be happier for him to see him here. I can remember back when we timed the first player, when we didn't have one player with the Carolina Panthers.
Drew Henson, it is on the wires right now. You drafted him as quarterback. He's playing in the Yankees organization. He is trying to negotiate for his release. A deal appears to be almost imminent. He would then join the Texans because you guys drafted him. Where do you stand with Drew Henson, and will you immediately trade him?
Well, this is really news to me, but I will tell you this. If that is the case, then we'll go to work the first part of the week to try to find out what we can work out.
Don, we'll talk to you in just a moment. Let's go back to Marv for a play.
All right, Jim. Patriots, 1st and 10 from their 38-yard line. Antoine Smith in the backfield. He is the lone deep back. Here's Brady back to throw. Brady takes a long look and fires. It is broken up. Deflected. The pass broken up by Deion Grant. Intended for David Gibbons. Let's get back to Jim.
Coach Capers, you guys beat Carolina this season, and you lost to New England in overtime. You're the last team to have a lead against New England back on November 23rd. How do you see this game, having played them both?
Well, I think it's going to be an extremely tight game. I felt all along if Carolina can withstand the first 10 minutes of the game, we're going to see a tremendous football game.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck with the Texans next year.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, Marv, back to you.
All right, 2nd and 10 now from the 38-yard line. 6 minutes gone by in this first quarter with no score. They line up in the I, centers in front of Smith. Handoff to Smith. Follows his way off left tackle. Gets to the 40. Picked up 2 on the play. Met by Will Witherspoon and Greg Favors.
You know, Marvin, that last pass play for Tom Brady, he was lucky. Deion Grant should have picked that ball off and had a chance taking it all the way back for a touchdown. And as Coach Capers just told Jim Gray, you know, the onslaught of the first 10 minutes and getting over the jitters for the Panthers is key. And this situation now, 3rd and long, those 2 offensive tackles are in a lot of pressure against Peppers and Rucker. Those are the players that have to have the game of their lives in order for Tom Brady to be able to move this offense down the field.
All right, it's a 3rd down and 8 from the 40. Falk in the backfield. Brady has 4 wideouts. Now Brady drops back into the shotgun. It's a long count. Brady takes. Brady throws to the right flat. He completes out at the 40-yard line. He has Deion Grant, picks up a couple of extra. 5 on the play in all, but short of the first down. Dan Morgan, the middle linebacker, able to make the stop. And New England will have to punt. Right here, we'll go downstairs. Let's join John Dockery. John?
Quickly, Marv, this game is unbelievably physical. And as Boomer was saying, it's not just the ends, Peppers and Rucker. It's also Buckner and Jenkins, the tackles, putting a big rush up the middle on Tom Brady. Back to you, Marv.
All right, John. Ken Walter, who has certainly had his ups and downs this season, is back to punt and a poor punt. They let it bounce. Steve Smith was the deep man, but it takes a nice roll for the Patriots, rolling across the 15 down to the 11-yard line. So that will be a 45-yard punt.
And Marv, Steve Smith has got to catch that football. He can't let it bounce like that. They would have had the ball around the 25-yard line. Bad play by Steve Smith.
All right, 7.5 to go in this first quarter. Carolina nothing. New England nothing. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Fastest live scoring on the internet is at CBSSportsline.com. From the play to the web in seconds. Our scoreboards bring you all the action as it happens. Just go to CBSSportsline.com. Now back to more of Westwood One's exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38. Later in the game, we'll be telling you about tonight's Rolaids moment, brought to you by new Rolaids, multi-symptom fast relief for the way we live.
I know, I can tell you, nobody out in here wants to be a part of that Rolaids moment. Now, how about this? Carolina's had to punt on 10 of their last 13 possessions between, obviously, this game and their last game against the Eagles.
And they do have an excellent punter in Todd Salbrum, but Carolina starting out from the 11. Here's Stallone with a handoff to Davis. Tries to go up the middle. Cut to the left. And again, a short pickup. Stephen Davis stopped by Teddy Bruschi. Davis signed as a free agent after 7 years with the Redskins. He had a superb season. 1,444 rushing yards, a franchise record for Davis.
Yeah, John Fox said he went out and got him as a free agent because he saw him when he was the defense coordinator of the Giants all too much. He knew how good he was. And he knew that Steve Spurrier de-emphasized his role in the Redskin offense, so he knew that he had some juice left in the tank.
And now new backfield to Sean Foster, who has been just terrific in the postseason, and Nick Goings in the backfield. Here's a swing pass out to Smith on the right, but just a short pickup. Patriots able to close him down as he's run out of bounds at the far side. Just two on the play. Ty Law was right there.
And you can see that Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, is protecting his young quarterback, and that's what he should do right here. Don't put too much pressure on him. Short passes, and you called Stephen Davis's name already this particular series. You're probably going to call it again right here. I wouldn't be surprised. And they want to play a field position game, and that's why they franchised their punter in the offseason, Marv, Todd Sauerbrunn. They did not want to lose him because they know how important he would be to this offense.
Well, Davis is back, although they have an empty backfield. He's on the wing. It's a third down and 7. Delhomme rolling right. Here's Delhomme looking downfield. Can't find anyone. He's spun around. They cannot get him down. When he fires it, throws it away. It is incomplete. Jarvis Green, who had the 2 sacks against the Colts in the AFC Championship game, putting the rush on Jake Delhomme. Let's go downstairs and we'll check in with John Riggins. John?
I am exactly like John Dockery. I am so impressed with the intensity of this game on both sides of the ball, and I can tell you right now that the Patriots defense has come to play, and if I said one of the tools of the game was filling the holes on the rush, they are doing exactly that. They know Stephen Davis got the Panthers here, and they're going to take him out of this game.
All right, thanks, John. Another punting opportunity here for Todd Sauerbrunn. Again, from his goal line, Troy Brown awaits it in single safety. Back at the 40. It's a long count. And
I guess they figure his leg is so strong that they're going to take a delay of the game penalty and make him kick it 5 yards
penalty, still
further back. I'll tell you what, if the Panthers go on to win this game, this punter might be it could be the MVP. I mean, no pressure more than what Todd Sauerbrunn, the punter of the Panthers, is feeling. Now he's all the way at the back of his end zone.
Well, Todd, a guy who's made it to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years in his 9th NFL season out of West Virginia, kicking from deep in his end zone, and gets one away to midfield. It looked like Troy Brown was calling fair catch and then changed his mind and then had a pounce on it and is able to come up with the football. It's a 38-yard punt by Sauerbrunn. Still no score here in Houston. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Today's game, and vote for the Super Bowl MVP. Your vote counts in determining the winner. Just log on to SuperBowl.com. And Boomer, once again, New England with excellent field position. You get the idea. Both teams are tense here at the start.
Very tense, and now all of a sudden Peppers and Rucker are on the sideline, replaced by Shane Burton, and Al Wallace at the defensive ends. And they do this routinely. They basically substitute on their own. That's what Mike Chergabat, the defensive coordinator, told me. And I'm sure that, right at this point, Tom Ashworth and Matt Lattiby's got to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. But now we'll see what kind of pressure these guys can put on.
Patriots will start out from their 49-yard line. How about Carolina? 9 plays, only 3 yards. They have not picked up a first down. The ball back in possession of New England. Handoff to Antoine Smith. He's straight ahead. Gets inside the 45-yard line. Picked up 7 on the play. Met by Chris Jenkins. Headed to the Pro Bowl for a 2nd straight year.
And Marv, I should kind of just explain myself. Burton is in there for Buckner, and Rucker is still on the field. And they just ran a play that they ran very successfully 2 weeks ago against the Indianapolis Colts, and this time they ran it at Burton. So Burton's first action, they gained 7 yards on a play.
It's 2nd and 3 at the Panther 42. Brady 3 for 6, only 33 yards. He fires to the left flat. He has Deion Branch, but Branch is smothered right at the line of scrimmage, the right corner. Reggie Howard on the tackle. Carolina in a 4-3, and the starters, and the guys you'll see for the most part, are Julius Peppers, Brinson Buckner, Chris Jenkins, and Mike Rucker. The linebackers, Greg Favors, Dan Morgan, Will Witherspoon at the corners, Reggie Howard, Ricky Manning Jr., who has been on fire, 4 interceptions in 2 games, and Minter and Grant are the deep men. Patriots quickly to the line, and here is the handoff. It goes to Antoine Smith, and he is stopped by Chris Jenkins.
And it was interesting, Marv, this time they come back with that same type of play. They call it a wham play, where they bring one of their off tight ends back in to try to hit one of those interior tackles to to kind of break a big hole. And if you're over-aggressive inside like that, you kind of take yourself out of the play. But Chris Jenkins saw that on film 2 weeks ago against the Colts. He was not going to have any of that, and he was right there to make the play.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this opening quarter with no score. It's 2nd down and 9 as Brady throwing to the left line, and he completes at the 31. Deion Branch is taken out of bounds. That's a 6-yard hookup. Terry Cousin, the backup corner, able to make the stop, and it brings up a 3rd down and 3 at the 31.
Talking to Chris Jenkins, a mammoth defensive tackle. He's kind of a quiet guy, has a unique kind of humorous personality, former University of Maryland player, I'm proud to say. He has developed into one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in football.
Now Kevin Falk in the backfield as they continue to shuffle. They have 3 wideouts to the left, 4 in all. The tight end Poirier in motion, and here's an end around, and Carolina saw it coming. The end around is stopped. Will Witherspoon able to put the big hit on Troy Brown. He took Brown down for a loss of 10.
Yeah, that's one of these blitzes that John Fox and Mike Turkovic have in their arsenal of defensive blitzing. And I'll tell you, everybody says, they don't blitz a lot because they got a great front 4. Hey, 23 times last week against the Philadelphia, or 2 weeks ago against the Philadelphia Eagles, they blitz. They bring the heat, and a perfectly called play by Mike Turkovic, the defensive coordinator.
So the punting unit comes on. 2nd punt for Walter. Steve Smith is back. He's at his 8-yard line. He feels a low snap and hits the ground, and he angles it. Nice play by Walter, and a fair catch made by Smith inside the 10-yard line, and Walter came up with a big play.
Well, that is a big play for the much-maligned punter of the New England Patriots, and what a nice kick, and Steve Smith catches it inside the 10-yard line. Steve, I think, is having some trouble making decisions back there, when to catch it and when not to.
It's a 33-yard punt. Carolina gets it back. Still no score. We have 3 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
Marv, if you and the fans have thought that the NFL season would end after today's game, well, guess what? Think again. The NFL season-ending celebration continues with the best players in the AFC and the NFC competing in the league's annual Pro Bowl next Sunday. And guess what, Marv? There's still time to come say aloha and be a part of the NFL's 25th anniversary in the land of paradise. To book your travel, all you have to do is call our friends over at Pleasant Holidays. By the way, they throw a heck of a party over there. At 1-800-5-HAWAII or go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl.
So you jet out tonight after the Super Bowl?
No, I go to Arizona, then the Super Bowl.
I see.
How about Carolina? Average drive start on the 16-yard line, right here on the 7.
And Jake Delhomme just 1 for 4 for 1 yard. Here's Delhomme back to throw. He's back at his goal line. He throws. It is through the hands of the intended receiver and ends up deflected downfield, incomplete. Muhsin Muhammad not able to take that bullet pass from Jake Delhomme. Right here, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is CBS Radio Sports and Westwood One, your exclusive home for Super Bowl 38. In Houston, Panthers, 2nd and 10 from their 8-yard line. Just under 3 to go on the first with no score. Here's the pitch to Davis. Davis running to his right, cuts back left, gets out to the 10, and that's it. Met by the left defensive end, Bobby Hamilton, and that will bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Well, that's 11 plays for a grand total of about 6 yards. Might be about 5.5 yards for Carolina. Jake is 1 for 5 and 1 for 1 yard, and I can sense when he's in the pocket, his feet are really moving up and down. He's a little bit nervous. He has, every right to be a little bit nervous. Who would have thought he would be a starting quarterback, in a Super Bowl. So he's just got to settle down a little bit, and by being backed up like this, they really haven't given him a chance to open it up.
Once again, Stephen Davis is the lone defect. Delhomme takes. Delhomme is back to throw, looking right, now left. He floats one downfield that is incomplete, but there is a flag toss intended for Muhsin Muhammad, but a penalty marker is down. Muhammad being covered by Ty Law, the left corner.
They're going to call holding on Ty Law, and I wonder if this goes back to that AFC Championship game.
Holding, defense, number 24. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Remember all the complaining that Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning and everybody was doing, saying that the New England Patriots defensive backs were getting away with mauling their receivers. And the officials are human beings. They watch the films. They see what's going on. They aren't directed by the league. They have to make their own choices. But But, you know, Ty Law had his hands on Muhammad down the field. I don't necessarily know that it was holding, a little bit of a ticky-tack call, but all of a sudden, that puts doubt in the mind of the secondary of the New England Patriots a little bit.
Ty Law had 3 interceptions of Peyton Manning 2 weeks ago in that AFC Championship game. Panthers with their first down of the night. Here's the handoff. Davis running to his right, slashing his way out to the 20-yard line where he's met by Ty Warren. Let's check in downstairs with John Riggins. John?
You know what I find interesting, guys, and of course I would have never thought of it. Of course they didn't exist, but these wide screens in the end zone, every time these players come back to the huddle, the Carolina Panthers, they all look up at the wide screen because they're basically grading themselves and or trying to figure out what their defensive linemen did. They didn't have that back in the days that I played and probably wouldn't have bothered looking at it if we would have.
Come on, Riggo. This is the MTV generation. What do you expect?
I wasn't a film guy, Boone.
I know you weren't.
All right, 2nd and 6 at the 20. Deshaun Foster has entered the backfield, coming on for Stephen Davis. Here's Delhomme to throw, being rushed. He fires a bullet, just looking to get rid of the football. It took a big hop in front of the intended receiver, Foster, and they continue to put the pressure on Jake Delhomme.
Well, they were going to try to set up a screen to the left side of the offense for the Carolina Panthers. This is how smart the New England Patriots are. Roman Pfeiffer was over there. Defensive end Richard Seymour was over there. Everybody just kind of felt it. And, you know, I think this is a defense that right now feels that it has the number of the Carolina Panthers. They are playing aggressive. They're in your face. And that's exactly what Romeo Crennel and Bill Belichick do to you when you're playing against them.
3rd and 6 at the 20. New backfield with Foster and Goings. It's a split backfield. Signals called. Delhomme takes. Delhomme with an inside handoff. He has Foster running to his right, and he's driven back. A short pickup met by Roman Pfeiffer. 2 on the play. And once again, Todd Sauerbrunn will check in. It's another punt for the Panthers. We'll go downstairs. Here's John Dockery. Doc?
You know, Marv, the offense of the Panthers hasn't done much well, but what the Panthers have done as a team is survive the first quarter for the most part. And you know, the Patriots usually get on top of teams early and bury them. At least they've survived so far.
All right, Doc, 4th punt for Sauerbrunn. This time, Deion Branch is back in single safety at his 30. A high punt played by Branch. Branch running to his left, and he is taken down, wrapped up at the 33. 48-yard punt, 3-yard return. Brad Hoover on the tackle, and obviously Bill Belichick did not like the way Troy Brown handled that previous punt. He called for the fair catch, muffed it, and then was able to cover up, made the change as Deion Branch replaced him.
You know what? Jake Delhomme is from Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, and I could hear everybody in Breaux Bridge watching that last 3rd down play saying, what kind of call was that by Dan Henning on the offense? You know, that was a safe call. They feel like they're in the game because their defense is holding it in. They don't want to put the young quarterback in a position to make a bad mistake early in this game. So they are playing it completely conservative on the sideline of the Carolina Panthers.
New England will start out from their 32 with 35 seconds left in this scoreless first quarter. They line up in the eye. And here's Brady back to throw. Avoids the pressure and throws. It is incomplete. Pass off the mark at midfield, intended for Troy Brown.
You know, and Tom Brady's off a little bit, and I think he feels a little bit of the heat. He's 5 of 9, 43 yards, but he's usually pretty accurate, and a couple times he's overthrown a few receivers, but you know, that's easy for me to say way up here, Marv. We're in the rafters of this beautiful stadium, and he's got to deal with the pass rush of Rucker, Peppers, and of course, Chris Jenkins and Brenston Buckner.
2nd and 10 at the 32. Patriots going left to right here in the closing seconds of this first quarter. Antoine Smith in the backfield. Brady with the handoff to Smith on a sweep, cuts to his right, finds a hole, gets across the 40-yard line, close to the first down. Mike Minter, the strong safety, able to make the stop. Looked to be a 9-yard pickup, and it is right at the marker.
And I could see Bill Belichick probably going over to Charlie Weiss. Look, let's just keep doing this, all right? Come on. We can do this. Let's try to stay with it. Let's not get too fancy. You know, because neither he nor Fox are real fancy guys. Have you ever talked to them, Marv?
Of course.
Well, Foxy's a little bit more open.
Well, Bill, I think, is different away from...
Yeah, you have a glass of wine at dinner. Yeah, of course. Everybody's a little bit different at that point.
Maybe he just doesn't want to give you any information.
Give me lots of information.
Although I thought he was very forthcoming. I heard your interview earlier with Bill.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
Penetrating questions.
Yes, I was trying to, make a statement.
All right, they spotted just short of the first down as this first quarter has come to a close. You were trying to make a statement?
Well, it's a probing interview.
I see. That's the end of one. We have no score. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Back in Houston, the start of the second quarter being brought to you by Subway. When you think of fresh starts, think of Subway sandwiches. Good, so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. Well, this is the scoreless first quarter of the Super Bowl since back in Super Bowl 26, 12 years ago when Washington played Buffalo and Redskins beat the Bills.
Well, and for all you punt fans out there, 6 punts by 2 teams in the first quarter, guess what? We're on pace. The record is 21 in Super Bowl 35. That was the Ravens and Giants.
Third and 1, and it's a backfield of Vrabel and Seymour, along with Antoine Smith. Handoff to Smith, running to his right, very close to the first down marker. Panthers say they made the stop, and apparently they have, as the punting unit will check in. Dan Morgan, the middle linebacker, who has been sensational in the postseason for the Panthers, was able to get the reps on Antoine Smith. And the Patriots not able to pick up the first down. So here's Ken Walter into punt. He will punt from his 26-yard line, and let's see how Steve Smith handles it. He's back at the 20. Low snap played by Walter, and lofts one off to the right side. A short punt. Takes a bad hop for the Patriots right around the 35-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, Marv, right there, 4th and 1, 2 weeks ago, Bill Belichick went for it. Today, he elects to punt it, and an awful punt by Ken Walter.
And that will go down as a 22-yarder for Walter. So as the second quarter gets underway, we'll take a timeout. Panthers will take over at their 37. This is Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 38. One first down, and that by virtue of a penalty. Stephen Davis, Brad Hoover in the backfield. They're lined up in an offset eye. Jake Delhomme not able to get anything going. He's back to throw, and now throws deep down the right side, and it is dropped. He was double covered. Steve Smith, the intended receiver, down at the 30-yard line, facing the pressure. Tyrone Poole was the closest to him.
And exactly what Dan Henning, the offense coordinator, should do. Finally, a little bit of breathing room behind the back of Jake Delhomme. He's not backed up to his own end zone. And this would have been a really terrific catch on the part of Steve Smith. I mean, it would have been just a great catch. And actually, Jake throws a pretty good ball away from the closing safety, Eugene Wilson. So you can see Dan Henning now with a little bit of field position will be a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, now 1 for 7, just 1 yard. 2nd and 10. Here's the toss to Davis. Tries to cut to his right. Looked to turn the corner, and he could not. Lost 2 on the play, met by the combination of Rodney Harrison and Bobby Hamilton. Boomer, how about these numbers? The average drive thus far tonight, 1 minute and 58 seconds. This the 9th possession overall for both clubs in close to 16 minutes.
And that's why the punters play such an integral part of this game. And, Ken Walter might catch a break here, but I have to tell you that right now, if you're an offensive player, you're grinding. You're looking for anything, any kind of big play, missed tackle, something to get your team moving.
It's a 3rd down and 12 for the Panthers back at their 35. Delhomme straight back to throw, now in trouble, facing pressure, and taken down inside the 25 by Willie McGinnis. Second sack of the game for the Patriots.
Well, I have to tell you, Jarvis Green is back there the second time this game. I didn't even know who he was for that AFC Championship game. Threw down Peyton Manning like he was a rag doll a few times, and this time gets back there before McGinnis and forces Delhomme to recock and hold on to it. And then McGinnis gets the sack, but Jarvis Green back there twice tonight already.
So the 5th punt of the night for Sauerbrunn. He's back at his 10. Deion Branch in single safety at the 30. A high end over end and a fair catch called for by Branch, who had a back pedal to the 25. And that is the best punt of the night. 51 yards by Sauerbrunn. Still no score. We're early in the second. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Back in Houston, let's go over to Jim Gray with Hall of Famer Howie Long. Jim?
Well, he won this game in 1983 with his Raiders when they beat the Redskins in Tampa. Went into the Hall of Fame in 2000. He's been with Fox for 10 years. He has a show on Westwood 1, Third and Long. Howie Long. John Madden, former Raider coach, broadcaster, also with us at Westwood 1, had this saying to me a few years ago. There's a fine line between a great defensive struggle and a boring football game. What do we have right here?
Well, I think we have a prelude to a really exciting game. Someone is going to make a mistake. Field position right now is the big key for Carolina to get on track. I like the fact they took a shot down the field in that last series, although they weren't successful. So much of what they do is derived from the running game. You saw in that last sack, their play-action passes really mean nothing, and Jake's not really a great play-action pass guy, but their play-action passing game works so well when they're running the ball. Don't get lulled into a false sense of security with Stephen Davis 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, -1. He's going to break one of those runs, and that's when it will open up. Somebody's going to make a mistake. Somebody's going to turn the football over.
We'll have another question, but Patriots are at the line. Let's go back upstairs to Mark.
All right, Jim, it's a 1st and 10 at the 25. New England now moving right to left. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter, and we have no score. They're lined up in the eye. The feature back is Antoine Smith. Long count for Tom Brady. Now Brady looking over to his left, making a change. And Brady takes the pitch to Smith, finds a hole on the right side and drives his way up across the 30-yard line. Went for 7, stopped by Shane Burton. Let's get back to Jim.
All right, thank you, Marv. Hey, Howie, does Jake Delhomme look a little shaky to you?
I think that's natural earlier on in the game, and I think the Patriots are crowding the short zone, and that's why I think it was important for him to take the ball down the field in that last series. One of the interesting matchups would be Dan Henning versus Bill Belichick.
Howie, thank you. We look forward to seeing you on Westwood 1 and on Fox. Thanks for your time. Marv?
All right, it's a 2nd and 4 now for New England at their 31. Again, the handoff to Smith. Drives off right tackle, comes up short of a first down. Went for 2, met by Mike Rucker in his 5th year out of Nebraska. 12 sacks on the season, among the leaders in that department.
You know, every time Howie Long opens his mouth, I am shocked that he was a defensive lineman. He just sounds too smart. He sounds good. He's right on it.
See, that's terrible.
And then what about Jim Gray? Is Jim Gray actually watching the games? Is he just schmoozing in all the boxes?
I would say Mr. Schmooze is at his best here.
I mean, Howie's really bright. I mean, he's a terrific guy and knows, just like we've been saying. I mean, he knows exactly.
You are so condescending when it comes to defensive linemen. Penalty flag is down as Brady takes the snap, facing pressure, throws. He completes at the near side for a first down to Troy Brown. What a play by Brady, but there is a flag on the field.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Chris Jenkins jumping offside. And it's going to be on them anyway, all for naught. Jenkins comes up, looks like he's holding his left hand. He might have gotten that sandwich in between a couple helmets.
Offside, defense number 77. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And it is on Chris Jenkins, the right defensive tackle, 3-year man from Maryland.
And I'll tell you, Chris Jenkins is 6'4", 340 pounds. Is a big man from Maryland, and he beats the guys right at the line of scrimmage, goes right through Coppin and Hochstein, the left guard and center, and you know, Brady did all he could to get away from him.
He has a first down at the New England 38. Kevin Falk in the backfield. Larry Centers on the wing to the right of Falk as Brady takes, rolling right, throwing on the run, and again he completes over at the far side, short of a first down. Troy Brown makes the catch, picked up 5 on the play. Reggie Howard, the right corner, drove him out of bounds. So Patriots now finding some success on that dink and dunk philosophy of Tom Brady.
You know, if I were Charlie Weiss, offense coordinator, I'd leave Larry Centers out there. You know, I played with him in Arizona in 1996. And I'll tell you what a great pass receiver outside as a fullback, but an even more lethal weapon as a chip blocker against these defensive ends.
101 catches back in 95 for Centers. 2nd down and 4, and the handoff to Falk, running to his left, gets to the outside, able to work his way to midfield and has a first down. Kevin Falk would not go down, driving forward. Finally, the strong safety, Mike Minter, got him to take the hit. but he went for 8 on the play and a first down.
Remember, Chris Jenkins, their mammoth all-pro defensive tackles on the sideline with a hand injury, and they're running a little bit left now, having a little bit of that success. They're running right at Shane Burton, and that's Jenkins' replacement.
So the Patriots first and 10 at the Carolina 47. Falk in the backfield. Falk takes the handoff. This time he drives up the middle, and he is stopped. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. Renston Buckner able to make the tackle. Once again, we'll check in with John Riggins. Let's go to John.
You know, guys, after looking at the championship game last night and having done it 2 weeks ago up in New England, you know, the New England Patriots have only scored one touchdown in their very opening drive, and the rest have been field goals. I think if you're a Patriot fan, you have to be concerned about this offense because Tom Brady has not been playing as well as he has. He almost threw 6 interceptions.
All right, John, 2nd and 10 at the 47. Falk remains in the backfield, a split backfield. Brady takes, running right, throws, and he completes, has a first down. Brown at the far side, able to make the catch, and he runs it out of bounds at the marker.
And what is Charlie Weiss doing? Well, he's moving Tom Brady around out of the middle of that pocket to get away from that pass rush. And it's not so much that he's just afraid of the defensive ends. He's also afraid of the blitzing package that the Panthers will throw at you. So get away from it, create a lot of traffic. Troy Brown comes off of a few pick plays outside as he comes in motion, and Tom Brady accurately throws the ball as Cousin gets caught up inside to allow Brown to get open.
And Boomer, they are taking out the chains for a measurement. It appeared that he did pick it up. We'll have to see where they spot it. Now the indication is it is just shy of a first down.
And this is interesting here. Remember the last time they were on 3rd and short, they weren't able to make it. They ran right. You see if Charlie Weiss has a little guts here to call a little play-action pass. You know, my ex-head coach, Sam Weiss, would have done that. Call play-action pass right now. Put the pressure right on my shoulders. Go make a play, boy.
See the reports regarding Sam, possibly the quarterback's coach for the Buffalo Bills?
Possibly.
Yes. And they have taken out the chains for a measurement. Brought to you by Wayne Dalton Garage Openers. There are no chains in the new iDrive Garage Door Opener. See it at WayneDalton.com. And they are just short of a first down. 3rd and inches. Here's Brady taking on a quarterback sneak. And we'll have to wait for the players to unravel and figure this one out.
You know, Howie Long said it, Riggo said it, John Dockery all said it. This is a nasty game. And I'll tell you what, for a quarterback to take a quarterback sneak and take about 5 different hits, which is what Tom Brady just did in there, you could see how nasty it is in the middle of that defensive line. And we could hear it all the way up here, believe it or not. And this is going to be close. This is going to be really close. So Charlie Weiss didn't want to get too fancy, and it was Chris Jenkins,
what a difficult
tackle.
Well, what a difficult determination as to where to place the football on a quarterback sneak, where it looks like you're playing rugby. I mean, how do you determine where the ball should be spotted?
It actually looks like he actually lost about an inch, it looks like. I think he lost an inch, Mark. And, you know, I give a lot of credit to Chris Jenkins. Now, here we go, the first decision. I would think if you're Bill Belichick, you got to go for it here. I mean, the Carolina Panther offense has done absolutely nothing. Now the question is, are they going to make Tom Brady do the old quarterback sneak again? He's probably saying, oh, man, I hope they don't ask him to do that again. And he took like 5 hits on that.
In the postseason, teams have been going on 4th down much more frequently than you see during the regular season.
Well, this is where you have to go for it. Just simply because, number one, you don't have a great punter. He might only get off a 5-yard punt. And number 2, the opposing team's offense, the Carolina Panthers, really haven't done anything. So, you know, right here, you got to make the first down.
Richard Seymour checks in once again as the blocking back. Anquan Smith, the running back. 8th play of the drive. They line up 4th. And enters Brady, takes handoff to Smith, drives off the right side, and he is stopped. Stopped by Will Witherspoon.
Well, this is going to be close again. Now, the guys on the sideline of the Carolina Panthers are all saying, no way, no way. Tom Brady ran up there and said, yes, way, that is a first down. I think it looks like it is going to be a first down. It's going to be very, very close. And Mike Turgerbach, the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, is screaming at the spot. And I don't know, Richard Seymour is a fullback. That's one way to get the first down. Run your defensive lineman in as a fullback and run into one of their defensive linemen.
Richard Seymour is 6'6", 310 pounds, a defensive end, and again, a very difficult spot to determine.
Well, I'll tell you, Turgerback and the entire Carolina Panthers sideline was screaming, no way, no way. But all you had to do was gain about 3 inches.
And they have the yardsticks out there.
Follow me.
And the Patriots have picked up the first down by inches.
And John Fox, Mike Turgervich, everybody on the sideline of the Carolina Panthers, Turgervich being the defensive coordinator and former defensive line coach of these Panthers, just absolutely livid at the spot. We're able to look at it here on the replay. And great penetration again. And I'll tell you what, by the replay, there's absolutely no way that Antoine Smith made that first down. Absolutely no way.
We will see a replay challenge by John Fox. So they will take a look at that last run by Antoine Smith. We'll take a break with 8:52 to go in this first half. The Panthers and the Patriots are still scoreless. You are listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
Looking for great jeans at a great value? Well, Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans are stronger, more comfortable, and guaranteed for quality. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. Now, as we sit here and we wait for this replay review of whether or not Antoine Smith got the first down on a 4th and what, about 3 inches, Mark?
Might have been 4.
I'll tell you.
Very, very tough to tell.
One thing is apparent, this Carolina defensive line, and for that matter, so is the New England Patriots defensive line. These boys have come to play. And I mean, they are displacing the line of scrimmage. And as I look at this replay, there's no way Antoine Smith even came close to this.
It appeared from our angle that the weak side linebacker, Will Witherspoon, did get to him. We saw the immediate celebration by the Panthers. Now, sometimes that's a decoy, but
no way.
There was no question that they felt they had stopped Antoine Smith.
You know, Marv, we see Witherspoon as Hockley's going to come out from
After reviewing the play,
here and tell us.
The forward point of the ball at the runner's forward progress mark was the 37-yard line, which is where the ball was spotted. The ruling of the field stands as called. It's a first down.
Well, you know, the only thing I can say...
Carolina's charged with their first timeout.
The only thing I could say about that is that, you know, he should probably come out here and say that was indisputable evidence. And, you know, you could see why he would say, you know, we can't overturn it on the field. But I can clearly see at the replay. I don't know why he couldn't see it. Maybe he's looking at a different thing than I am.
I don't think so.
But I'll tell you, the defensive line, you talked about Witherspoon. He hit Antoine Smith up high, but it was the defensive line who got underneath. Brenston Buckner, who stopped Antoine Smith from making that first down.
All right, Smith in the backfield. They line up in the I. Patriots first down at the Carolina 37. Here's Brady back to throw. He dumps one to the near side. It's caught inside the 35 by the tight end Daniel Graham. Only 3 on the play. Graham, a second-year player from Colorado, had a rough time in the divisional against Tennessee. Brady did not throw to him against the Colts during the regular season. Graham had 7 dropped passes. That's his first reception of the night. Patriots have had 1 scoring opportunity early on first quarter. Adam Vinatieri from 31 yards away misfired. And that's been it. It has been a defensive struggle in this first half. No score. 8 minutes to go in the half. As the Patriots line up, penalty markers are thrown.
Well, Chris Jenkins clearly came into the backfield of the Patriots. I think it's going to be called on him.
Defense. Unabated pass to the quarterback, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Yeah, and that's the guy, number 77, Chris Jenkins, that you don't want unabated to do quarterback, you know, because he could just end the game right there for Tom Brady. But, you know, I go back to now what the Patriots have to do. They have to throw the football. They can't run it. And I think when you have Tom Brady at quarterback, utilize him. Move him out of the pocket like Charlie Weiss has done already this quarter. 2nd and 2 at the 29. 4th penalty on the Panthers. Patriots called for 3. Once again, a long count. Brady changing the play. He has Smith in the backfield. Now
Now Brady takes the handoff to Smith, running off left tackle, finds an opening and has a first down, runs it down to the 21-yard line, met by Morgan and Witherspoon. Let's check in with John Dockery. Doc?
You know, Marv, you get a sense that the Patriots are playing into the hands of the Carolina Panthers by, as you were saying, Boomer, not opening up a little bit. A lot of their formations have had two tight ends and mostly blocking. Not a lot of wide open. Where are the 4 and 5 wide receiver sets that we thought might be seen by the Patriots?
I'll tell you what, I think Troy Weiss is worried about these defensive ends and these offensive tackles. I think he saw enough of that early in the first quarter to say, I don't necessarily know our guys can handle them one-on-one.
Now they do spread out Smith in the backfield. David Gibbons flank wide, right side. Now it's an empty backfield. Smith moves to the slot. And from the 20-yard line, Brady takes it. He fires for the end zone. It is an incomplete intended for Deion Branch, who is being covered by Terry Cousins. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 20.
You know, Tom Brady actually had Deion Branch. He beat Cousin at the line of scrimmage. But again, uncharacteristic for Tom. A little bit off the mark. I mean, his balls just have not been real accurate. I mean, the first pass of the game was real accurate. Since then, it's been a little bit short, a little bit behind. You know, and I'm sure he's feeling that pressure. And listen, I don't mean to get on the offensive tackles of the Patriots, but I'll tell you, they're playing against two really outstanding pass rushers in Peppers and Ruckers.
Numbers on Brady, 8 to 13, 61 yards. The handoff, though, goes to Smith on a slant to the right. Breaks a couple of tackles and picks up 2 on the play. Dan Morgan, the middle linebacker, able to make the stop. Morgan, his 3rd season out of Miami. He's been in and out of the lineup with a concussion. He did miss 5 games at one point, but he's come on very strong in the postseason. It's a 3rd down and 8 now at the 18. And here are the Patriots to the line, led by their center, Dan Copen. Kevin Falk, who has been shuffling with Antoine Smith, checks back in. He's up on the wing. Brady works out of the shotgun. Signals being called. Brady takes, looking to his left. Brady throws left, and it is caught out at the 10-yard line. And now let's see. They have been broken up. David Gibbons, the intended receiver, and it is incomplete, not able to hang on.
Well, I'll tell you what. This was a perfectly thrown ball by Tom Brady. Gibbons has just got to make this catch. I mean, come on, it's the Super Bowl. Let's go here, boys. I mean, Tom Brady's back there fighting as much as he can. He throws the ball perfectly low and away. It's Gibbons right on the 8, and he does drop it at the 10-yard line. So a poor play by Gibbons.
And the field goal unit will check in. It's a 4th and 8 at the 18. Vinatieri missed from 31 earlier. This will be a 36-yard attempt with the angle to the left. The deep snapper is Brian Kinson. The holder is the punter, Ken Walter. Signals being called. Here's the snap. It's placed down. The kick is blocked. It is blocked. And once again, Adam Vinatieri is not able to connect on a field goal attempt. May have been Shane Burton. Remember, Carolina with great success earlier in the season in blocking on field goal attempts. In fact, they blocked 5 during the regular season. So it remains Carolina nothing and New England nothing with 6 minutes to go in this first half. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
Track halftime report with Jim Gray. Jim's guest will be NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue and former Dolphins head coach Don Shula. Brought to you by Amtrak with great everyday deals to over 500 destinations. For reservations, visit Amtrak.com or call 1-800-USA-RAIL.
Boomer, how about this for New England? 14 plays, 57 yards. They had the football 7 minutes, 5 seconds. End result, no points. Once again, Adam Vinatieri not able to kick the field goal.
How about this for Carolina? 19 rushing yards, minus 19 passing yards for a grand total of 0 yards and 1 first down. He had 1 first down with 0 yards.
All right, Panthers get it back to the 27. The handoff to Davis, running to his right. He is hit back behind the line. Bobby Hamilton all over Stephen Davis, and it's a loss on the play. Loss 2.
Well, we're going to have records for futility in this game offensively, I can tell you that. And it's not sexy, but I'll tell you what, it's manly. Now the Carolina Panthers are going to go to their no-huddle offense to see if they can inject some life and passion to this team.
Once again, Davis is the running back out of the gun. Here's Delhomme to throw. He throws over the middle. A diving attempt made by the tight end, Chris Mangum, and it is incomplete. He bobbled and then dropped it. This is now the longest a Super Bowl game has gone without a score. The previous record back in Super Bowl IX, they went 7 minutes and 49 seconds into the second quarter, and Dwight White of the Steelers recorded a safety.
Well, you know what? It might take a safety here, too. I don't know, man. I'll tell you, neither of these well, at least the Patriots have a little life, 105 total yards, but now -2 total yards. -2 total yards.
3rd and 12 at the 25. Delhomme takes. He looks to throw. He hits from behind. The ball is knocked out of his hands. It's loose. It's covered up by the Patriots. It is New England ball. Richard Seymour on the recovery.
And Howie Long said it sooner or later it was going to be a big play. I don't think he thought it was good. Well, he probably did think it was going to be a defensive lineman, but a perfectly executed pass rush. Come around the back of Jake Delhomme, and force the fumble as he's stepping up. And it's Mike Vrabel who comes in around the corner, forces the fumble. Delhomme never feels him. And Richard Seymour falls on the ball. And I'll tell you, Mike Vrabel is just eating up. The left tackle, Todd Stussy, ran right around him. That's the second sack for Mike Vrabel in this game.
And 3rd overall for the Patriots on Delhomme with 5:15 remaining in this first half, and no score. New England takes over. Down at the 20-yard line, Antoine Smith is the lone deep back. Brady takes the handoff to Smith. Big hole up the middle. Able to drive his way inside the 15-yard line. Antoine Smith goes for 6 on the play, stopped by the weak side linebacker Will Witherspoon, so it will be a 2nd and 3.
You know, Marv, you just never know where those plays are going to come, and you're just hoping that it doesn't happen in your own zone. And I think Dan Henning played very conservatively the first quarter because they were backed up. And the reason he did that is because he didn't want to have happen what just had happened to Jake Delhomme. And it's not his fault. It's Todd Stussy who let Vrabel come around the corner.
Again, Smith in the backfield. Now Brady takes. And again, they get to Smith driving off the right side, and this time he is stopped. Short pickup, Morgan and Burton combined.
And I'll tell you, Marv, the body language of Tom Brady, he looks like he's disgusted with the play calls. You usually don't see that. He's got his hands on his hips, and he's like, come on, you got to give me something here. Don't put me in 3rd and long again. It's 3rd and 7. I'm going to stay for this play, Marv. I'm going to go run down.
Oh, you're heading off. You're leaving us.
But I'm going to stay wireless with you, man. But you got my guys, Rigo and Doc, to help you out.
That's a loss of a couple. It'll be a 3rd and 7. Back at the 17. Now Kevin Falk in the backfield with just under 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Now Falk splits wide to the right as Brady takes a long look, has an opening, he runs. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5, has a first down. Tom Brady saw the opening. Everyone was covered, and he scrambled for 12, hauled down by the strong safety. Mike Minner brings up a 1st and goal at the 5.
When you play man coverage on defense, the one guy that you don't have accounted for when you play against a guy like Tom Brady is the quarterback. Brady senses it and takes off with it. You would never play this defense against Donovan McNabb or Mike Vick because they would take advantage of it. But a huge play for Tom Brady.
All right, here are the Patriots to the line at the 1st and goal, down at the 5-yard line. The lone running back is Smith. Here's Brady on play action, throwing, touchdown! Deion Branch on a post pattern made the catch in the back of the end zone, and the Patriots with a 6-0 lead on the Panthers. Deion Branch in his 2nd year out of Louisville, 57 catches during the regular season, was wide open off the beautiful play-action fake. He sold the fake on Antoine Smith, and finally, we have a score. Branch with 4 catches for 32 yards, including the touchdown. Here's Adam Vinatieri, who has had a very long first half. Ready to attempt the extra point. The snap is placed down. The kick is up, and it is good. So another red zone touchdown, and with that touchdown, Milwaukee Electric Tool makes another donation to Habitat for Humanity. Milwaukee Electric Tool. Look for the red zone at your local distributor, hardware store, or home center. It's the Patriots 7, the Panthers nothing. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Back in Houston, and once again, time to check in with our sideline reporter, John Dockery, brought to you by Consort Hair Care for Men, guaranteed to give you great hold. John?
Mark, some thoughts on that drive after the fumble recovery by the Patriots. Actually, Tom Brady wanted his fine Troy Brown on the wide receiver before that, but Ricky Manning had him covered on the post corner. So what he does on the next play, as you mentioned, big time run fake, play action, the defensive backs, Minter and company for the Carolina Panthers bid on it. He found them deep in the end zone, back of the end zone, easy touchdown.
All right, John, it's a 7-0 Patriot lead. Adam Vinatieri getting set to kick it away. Rod Smart is the deep man. We have 3 minutes, 5 seconds to go in this first half. Marv Albert, Boomer Esiason, John Dockery, John Riggins, Jim Gray, Bonnie Bernstein, a cast of thousands here on CBS and Westwood One. First half that has seen Carolina come up with only 1 first down, and that due to a penalty. Line drive kick by Vinatieri, a deep kick played by Smart in the end zone, runs it out to the 5-10, angles to the left, and he is spun around and he's taken down by Chris Akins, back down at the 10-yard line, and a flag has been thrown. Penalty marker is down.
I think you're going to have unsportsmanlike conduct on the Panthers down here, Marv. Like a little testiness on this kick return.
Boomer, you are everywhere. I know you're making your way to the NFL Today set for the halftime activities, and your voice comes out of nowhere.
It's unbelievable, Marv. I'm right here. The play is right in front of me. I just want to give you a bird's eye view.
I feel I'm being haunted, actually. But yes, penalty markers are down. Tremendous coverage by the Patriots. Rod Smart running to his left, looking to pick up additional yardage, and was spun around, and it was taken down. We await the call from the referee, Ed Hockley.
Well, at least Carolina's going to feel at home because they're going to be backed up against their goal line. And remember, we were talking about it, minus 24 passing yards for Carolina. Can you believe that? That is just unbelievable. What a great defensive performance by the New England Patriots here in the first half.
There were 2 fouls by Carolina during the return. Holding, number 57, that penalty is declined. There was also a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52. That penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal line. Carolina keeps the ball, first down.
All right, the calls on Lester Towns and Brian Allen. And as you mentioned, Boomer, the Panthers being backed up, they'll start out at their 5-yard line.
And I don't know whether or not New England Patriots will elect to use any of their defensive timeouts here with 2:58 to go in the first half. But very loud down here right behind Jake Delhomme.
It has been a very long first half for Jake Delhomme. Signals being called. Foster in the backfield. Delhomme is back to throw. Throws deep down the left side and is broken up out at the 40-yard line. Broken up by Tyrone Poole. The pass intended for Steve Smith, and Boomer's been a very quiet first half for Smith.
Well, I told you before the game, I thought he was going to be more dangerous as a punt returner as opposed to a pass receiver today, and he's made some mistakes in that area as well, but perfectly covered by Tyrone Poole with Rodney Harrison over the top. And one thing is apparent, watching these cornerbacks for the New England Patriots, when they realize that they have safeties over the top, they are going to be overly aggressive when they're running with their wide receivers.
All right, Stephen Davis checks back in. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 5-yard line. Panthers moving from left to right from our broadcast location. Handoff to Davis. Looked like he stumbled as he took the ball, but able to go straight ahead out to the 9-yard line. 5-yard advance for Davis, a workhorse-style runner who has thrived in this ball control offense of the Panthers, usually running between the tackles. He's made it back from ankle problems, making it to the Pro Bowl for the 3rd time, and John Fox has been able to shuffle between Davis and Deshaun Foster, second-year man from UCLA, who has really come on in the postseason. Davis remains in the backfield. It's a 3rd down and 5 at the 10 as we come up on the 2-minute mark in this first half. Patriots 7, and the Panthers nothing. Panthers to the line. As DeLone takes, he is back to throw. Fires over the middle. It is bobbled. It is caught. It is caught by Ricky Prohl for a first down. Ricky Prohl, a one-time member of the St. Louis Rams, the guy who made the catch back in the 1999 NFL championship game, went for 14 on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning brought to you by Drill Doctor, the drill bit sharpener, the power tool that will sharpen your bits in less than a minute. It's New England 7, Carolina nothing. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
Millions of people are playing fantasy sports. Have you tried it yet? Experience the best in fantasy sports at CBSSportsline.com. To get started today, click on Fantasy at CBSSportsline.com. Now back to more of Westwood One's exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38.
Welcome back to Reliant Stadium, Houston, Texas. A minute and 56 remaining in this first half. A beautiful catch a moment ago by the veteran Ricky Prohl. And Carolina has a 1st and 10 at their 23. Panthers huddled up back at their 15-yard line. Patriots with a 7-0 lead. Carolina with Stussy and Gross at the tackles. James and Donnelly at the guards. The center is Mitchell. And Goings is in the backfield. DeLone calling signals, ducks it under the center. Now DeLone takes, straight back to throw. DeLone with time and then throws it. It is caught for a first down across the 45 by Musa Muhammad. That's a pickup of 23 yards, and suddenly, and the penalty marker is also down, but suddenly Jake Delhomme is connecting with his receivers, Boomer.
And that's going to be on Ty Law again, I believe. Remember, over-aggressive these defensive backs are on the outside, but hey, that catch by Ricky Prohl before.
Illegal contact by the defense. That penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Yeah, that was on number 24, Ty Law. He didn't tell you, but I got to tell you, that catch by Ricky Prohl could have saved this game for the Carolina Panthers. That was caught in traffic, and it gave the Panthers some breathing room and some life.
23-yard hookup here with Muhammad and a first down for Carolina at their 46-yard line. Right out of the shotgun, Delhomme takes. Delhomme is back to throw. He fires over the middle. It's caught for another. Carolina first down inside the 40. Again, it's Prohl, and he's hit down immediately by Rodney Harrison. 13 on the play, and we have suddenly seen an eruption by the Panthers offense. They're in the hurry up. They're quickly to the line. First down at the 39. Here's Delhomme out of the gun. He throws. Leaping attempt that is incomplete through the hands of Muhammad.
Well, I'll tell you, Muhammad probably could have had this ball, but he knows that number 37, Rodney Harrison's floating around out there. So he got his hands down pretty quickly to protect himself. And how about Ricky Prohl, Marv? Over 600 career catches, 31st all-time. Only 32 players have reached the number 600, 50 receptions for TDs, and a big-time player makes the plays when you need them the most. And remember, 4th and 12 against Jacksonville to start the season. Save and started the season great for the Panthers.
2nd and 10 at the New England 39-yard line. Empty backfield. Here's Delhomme to throw. Delhomme looking right. He throws a diving catch by Muhammad at the 21, although the Patriots claim that Muhammad had dropped the ball, and apparently that will be the call. It is incomplete. Musa Muhammad cutting right and then moving back left to adjust, but not able to come up with it. And Boomer, the numbers on Delhomme are now 4 for 14 for 52 yards, and he has been sacked 3 times.
Yeah, well, the two big completions to Prohl and Muhammad to get themselves out of the shadow of their own end zone. Big plays. I mean, right now, they have a chance. They got a little momentum right here, and Jake just missed the wide open move to Muhammad, so he's got to get back on target right now.
Panthers have 2 timeouts remaining. Patriots with 3. A minute 14 to go in this first half. Now the Patriots take a timeout. So when we resume, it'll be a 3rd down and 10 for Carolina at the New England 39. Let's check in with John Riggins. John?
You know, guys, that Ricky Proehl's bobbled catch down there that produced a first down for Carolina, I think has been the biggest play for Carolina in this half. It looked to me like it was very likely they're going to have to punt the ball back to New England with almost 3 minutes left on the clock, give them excellent field position. New England's defense, to me, seemed to kind of sag a little bit as this game wore on towards halftime. And all of a sudden, when Richard Seymour comes up with that fumble, they were reinvigorated again and really getting into this game. And I think that it was one of those moments where you look at where a game can turn. But right now, it looks to me like Carolina has dodged a bullet and are on this drive. If they can get a score, they're obviously very much a part of this game. And they're trying to keep that momentum from going all New England's way going in at halftime. Back to you guys.
All right, John, it's a 7-0 lead as Brady was able to find Branch in the end zone. That was set up by the sack by Vrabel on Delhomme that knocked the ball loose, forced fumble. Seymour recovered. Adam Vinatieri has missed on 2 field goal attempts from 31. He had one blocked from 36. Panthers with their best looking drive of the night. 3rd and 10 now at the 39 in New England territory. A minute 14 to go in the half. 8th play of this Carolina drive. Here's Delhomme to throw. Delhomme throwing deep down the left side. It is caught. Touchdown! Touchdown, Steve Smith! A 39-yard touchdown pass play as Smith in a foot race was able to beat the right corner, Tyrone Poole. So the Panthers have come on late, and they're now down 7-6.
Marv press coverage. Tyrone Poole one-on-one right at the line of scrimmage. Gets on the top of Steve Smith. Gets on the top of Tyrone Poole. Runs down the sideline, and a beautifully thrown ball by Jake Delhomme. You talk about perseverance. This guy personifies that, does Delhomme, and what a beautifully thrown ball in the face of a blitz. He read the blitz. He threw it away from the blitz, and his receiver got open, and he made a play.
And here's John Casey on for the extra point. Tyrone Poole, incidentally, is a one-time Panther. Spent the first 3 years of his NFL career with Carolina. 8 plays, 95 yards in a minute, 58 to try for the extra point. It's placed down. The kick is up. It is good. So Carolina and New England are tied at 7 with a minute 7 remaining of the half. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Patriots and the Panthers are now tied at 7. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc?
Marv, a couple of points on that touchdown to Steve Smith. You may recall in the beginning of that drive by Carolina, deep in their own territory, they tried the deep pass to Steve Smith. Tyrone Poole made a great play. Obviously, with Ty Law on the other side, Poole is the marked man. One other point to be made. In that situation on the touchdown pass, they came with a delayed safety blitz. There was no one to help Tyrone Poole on Steve Smith.
Doc, it appears Eugene Wilson, the free safety, a bit late in coming over. Here's the kickoff. It's deep, played at the 5 by Bethel Wilson. Bethel Johnson has great speed, works his way to the 15, out to the 20, and excellent coverage by the Panthers as Johnson is stopped. Colin Branch involved on the tackle. Bethel Johnson, the rookie from Texas A&M, who grew up just a couple of hours from Houston. 59 seconds remaining in this first half. The game is tied at 7. The ball is spotted at the 22, and New England will go to work 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
And interesting to see what Charlie Weiss is going to do here, Marv, whether or not he's going to let Tom Brady try to score with 59 seconds to go here, or will he play it safe?
Kevin Falk in the backfield. Brady works out of the gun. Signals are being called. And Brady takes the snap. Brady sets, and he throws, has a wide open receiver, has the first down. David Gibbons able to make the catch at the far side at the 34-yard line. So it's a 13-yard pickup and a first down for New England.
Well, I think that answers my question, don't you, Marv?
Yes.
He's going to bring him out here, and he's going to make him play the game, and that's exactly what he should do. Be aggressive. He's got 2 timeouts left. He's got a former Super Bowl MVP running his offense, and really somebody who's in tune with everything that's going on around him. So why not? Give him a shot.
It is a first down at the 34. Falk remains in the backfield. Once again, Brady working out of the shotgun. Brady takes a low snap to his left and now throws to his right. It is almost intercepted. Out at midfield, Deion Grant almost picked it off. The pass intended for Deion Branch, the free safety. Deion Grant, who's had his ups and downs, nearly came up with that ball.
Well, that's because Mike Rucker put on a whole bit of pressure on Tom Brady, hit him right as he was throwing the ball. And I'm telling you again, Matt Light and Tom Ashworth, the two tackles of the New England Patriots, are really struggling one-on-one with these two outstanding defensive ends.
It is a 2nd and 10 at the 34. Once again, Brady working out of the shotgun. He has Kevin Falk to his right, 3 receivers to his left. Brady takes, rolling left, looking left, and now he throws deep downfield. It's caught by Branch at the 20. He's down to the 15, and he's taken down. Taken down by Ricky Manning Jr. Deion Branch was wide open, and what a throw by Tom Brady.
Hey, Marv, we talked about it as I'm sitting here next to Deion Sanders down in the Super Bowl today, said going crazy down here, screaming about Ricky Manning, but I got to tell you, we talked about it, the coverage matchups that are in favor of the Patriots if they get enough time. These speedy receivers are very difficult to jam at the line of scrimmage. They're not like the Philadelphia Eagles. A little roll to the left and throwback. That's exactly what they called, and Charlie Weiss right on the button.
A 52-yard pass play, and New England with a first down at the Carolina 14-yard line of the Patriots have taken a timeout, so they're down to 1 timeout remaining. Panthers have 2. How about Branch in this first half? 6 receptions, 88 yards.
That's a different story than playing against the Philadelphia Eagle receivers, let me tell you. And for 2 weeks, they had to listen to how Ricky Manning just shut down those Philadelphia Eagle receivers and made the big interceptions against St. Louis in the first playoff game. So, listen, everybody has a competitive streak in them. And when you get a chance to watch somebody on film and listen to them listen about them for about 2 weeks, you want to make a mark yourself, and that's exactly what Deion Branch has done thus far. Listen, everybody has a competitive streak in them. And when you get a chance to watch somebody on film and listen about them for about 2 weeks, you want to make a mark yourself, and that's exactly what Deion Branch has done thus far.
Deion Branch, only 5'9", about 190 pounds, second year out of Louisville, second-round pick. Last season had a very strong rookie year, 43 catches, 57 receptions this season. We're down to 37 seconds remaining of the half. Panthers and Patriots tied at 7. Kevin Falk, the lone deep back. It's a first down at the 14-yard line. And again, Brady works out of the shotgun. Brady takes. Brady steps up. And Brady throws. End zone, but overthrows. He had a wide-open David Givens in the far side of the end zone, but it looked like it got away.
Well, he did have Givens open. It was in that seam back there where cover 2, where you find a little void, and Brady was a little bit over-anxious. You got to feel for the quarterback because he knows that there's pressure going to get to him sooner or later, especially with this defensive line. So he's rushing a little bit, but Givens was wide open. Boy.
Brady now 11 of 19, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 32 seconds to go in the half. Patriots do have 1 timeout left. Once again, Brady in the shotgun. Troy Brown in motion left to right. Brady takes the snap. Brady in trouble. Now takes, he throws, completes out at the 5-yard line. He has Givens, and Givens is immediately taken down. His forward progress will be marked at the 5, so he picked up 9 on the play to bring up a 3rd and 1 at the 5.
And Tom Brady took their final timeout, and smart, because you obviously can't go up and spike the ball on 3rd and 1, so you got to use your timeout here. You got to be smart, try to make a first down, and then if you are still in bounds, you have enough time to get up and down it and probably run 1 more play. So Tom Brady alertly using his timeout effectively and the way that you're supposed to. And again, I go back to the point that we made in pregame about Tom Brady. Bill Walsh said that this guy is the closest thing to Joe Montana that he's ever seen. And I think part of that goes to the fact of how he handles himself on the field and how smartly he used that last time out here.
Well, he has been Mr. Clutch, undefeated in the postseason. 5-0 includes that Super Bowl victory. Most valuable player of Super Bowl 36 at the age of 24. And how about these numbers, Boomer? 27-4 in his career in games played after November 1st.
Spectacular numbers, Mark. That's where you want to win. November, December, and obviously January, now February.
It's a 3rd and 1 at the 5-yard line. Play action. Brady takes his throw. Touchdown. David Gibbons over the middle, giving the Patriots a 13-7 lead.
A terrific play-action fake by Tom Brady as he faked it to Kevin Falk. The linebackers of the Panthers step up, and Gibbons sneaks in behind him. It's the oldest play in the NFL down inside the 5-yard line because those linebackers are so thinking run, run, run. And they were over-aggressive. But what a great 2 minutes ago by Tom Brady. And what a great thought process by Charlie Weiss, being aggressive and going for it.
6 plays, 78 yards in 49 seconds. Here's Adam Vinatieri for the extra point. They're lined up, signals called, and the snap. It is placed down. The kick is up. It is right through. So another red zone touchdown, and with that touchdown, Milwaukee Electric Tool makes another donation to Habitat for Humanity. Milwaukee Electric Tool, look for the red zone at your local distributor hardware store or home center. It's the Patriots 14, the Panthers 7. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood Lawn. Well, on that extra point by Vinatieri, terrific play by the holder, the punter Ken Walter. The snap had actually rolled back, and Walter was able to put it in place, and Vinatieri kicked it right through. As we welcome you back to the Acura broadcast booth in Houston, Texas, along with Boomer Esiason, I'm Marv Albert. John Dockery, John Riggins downstairs patrolling the sidelines for us as well. We'll hear from Jim Gray at halftime. And the kickoff, a short kick picked up by one of the upmen and run out of bounds at midfield. Chris Mangum able to get to it and runs it out. We'll check in with John Dockery. Doc?
Hey, Marv, not to pick on the defense of Carolina, but how in the world on 3rd and 1 in that situation, close to the goal line, with only 23 seconds left and no timeouts, how could you, as a defensive player, be thinking, run and bite on the play action fake, practically the same play they'd run before to Branch? I just don't understand it. Where was the corner, Ricky Manning? He bit. Where were the linebackers? The safeties were nowhere to be found. That's just a terrible mistake by the Carolina defense.
And the end result, Patriots with a 14-7 lead, down to 12 seconds remaining in the half. Panthers now first down at their 47-yard line. DeLone takes the handoff to Davis off right guard. He breaks free to the 40, to the 35, down to the 41-yard line. Stopped by Harrison. 5 seconds to go in the half, and a timeout taken by the Panthers. A 21-yard run by Stephen Davis, finally able to break one.
And Marv, I was going to say that right before that snap, great field position because the Patriots elected to split kick it, and it gave the Panthers a little bit of life. They had just enough time on the clock, 12 seconds. They come out, they run a little draw play, safe. And of course, the New England Patriots are thinking pass, unlike, the Carolina Panthers were on that last play that John Dockery was just describing. So now all of a sudden, John Casey comes out, and he has a chance to get it close. So, hey, we have us a ball game. What do you think, Marv?
Well, only 5 seconds to go, and here's Casey with a 50-yard attempt. He has made his first 14 in the postseason. He has missed his last 2 against the St. Louis Rams. Here's the snap. It's placed down. The kick by Casey is up. It is good. A 50-yard field goal by Casey to conclude the first half. John Casey, the last of the original Panthers, who has had an excellent season. And as I mentioned, the numbers in the postseason very impressive until recently. So that's the end of the first half. Very intense at the start. No scoring going into the second quarter. And suddenly, Panthers came alive, as did the Patriots. And at halftime, it's New England 14 and Carolina 10. 24 points scored overall in the last 3.5 minutes of the half. So we'll take a break right here. When we come back, Jim Gray will join us with the Amtrak Halftime Report. You are listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Right here, we'll check in downstairs with Doc. John?
Marv, thank you. I talked to John Fox coming out of the locker room. He said he will not abandon his running game. Talked about it before. Sometimes coaches get in Super Bowls. They get a little nervous. They're down 14-10. He will not abandon it. What he's going to try to do is to test the perimeter. He said he did it a little bit in the first half, but it really didn't work. But they're going to try it again with Deshaun Foster and Stephen Davis. Said also his quarterback got some confidence with some of those pass completions, and he said they'll mix it up, and you can expect them to test Tyrone Poole again with Steve Smith. Back to you, Mark.
All right, John, just Tyrone Poole, the one-time Carolina Panther, spent 3 years, their first 3 years in existence. And, yes, Tyrone got beaten badly on that touchdown pass. We're also joined on the sidelines tonight by John Riggins. We'll check in with John.
Well, even though he's behind by 4 points, John Fox is in a much better mood than Bill Belichick. I talked to him as he was going off at the halftime, and the disgust, I don't think that was on his face and really in his body language, I don't think I can articulate it. I asked him a question, how important it was for him to get that last score. He said, well, it put us ahead. And so I asked him, well, why was there all the scoring in the last 3 minutes of the game, or of the first half? And he said, I don't know. This man was very upset when he walked off of the field, and I have no idea how he conveyed that to his team. But you got to believe that he got their attention in there at halftime. And the other thing I'd like to add about this first half, very intense first half, probably one of the most intense games I've ever seen, actually, down on the field and in person. It seemed like it sagged a little bit when it got so defensively, and then once again it heated up right before the half. I think we're in for a barn burner. This next venue we're going to see a few, Marv.
All right, John, 24 points the last 3.5 minutes by both teams. All 24 points, and as it stands now, the Patriots have a 14-10 advantage. We're ready for the second half kickoff of Super Bowl 38, brought to you by the Epson Stylus C84, the only inkjet printer with incredibly durable Durabright inks for brilliance that lasts. Bethel, Johnson, Kevin Falk are the deep men.
And they got a streaker that is right on the middle of the football field, Marv. This is unbelievable, and nobody's actually even doing anything about it. He's standing right in front of the ball.
I think they're hoping.
Casey, and there's not even any. He's moonwalking, and he is doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, where is the security? He ran out there in a uniform of a referee, and now he's like, the players are going to try to look. Oh, the players knocked him down. There you go.
I think they were hoping he would tire himself out with the moonwalk technique. It was right near the football. John Casey had teed it up and then stepped away, and now they will usher him off the field.
But you know what was interesting about that? He was out there for a good 25 seconds. Now, he ran out in a uniform reminiscent of a referee's uniform, but his pants were ripped, I guess. I don't know how and then he took his clothes off. And then was finally, who hit him? One of the Patriots players hit him.
Kind of a hip check. Looked to be Matt Chatham.
It was Matt Chatham.
And he is being carried off the field. And the crowd is reacting. About 10 specials ushering him off down below us.
They got him. They're carrying him like a battering ram. I don't know necessarily that I want to touch somebody in this situation. You never know what could be on their person. You know, Marv?
That is an excellent point.
And Matt Chatham laid his left shoulder into him, knocked him to the ground.
And now we're set for the kickoff to get the second half underway. And John Casey once again getting ready to approach the ball. Bethel Johnson is the deep man, and here is the kick. High end over end, played at the 8 by Johnson. He's out to the 15, the 20, to the 25, and he takes a jarring hit, and down he goes. Hit by Muhammad, Musa Muhammad on special teams, able to make the hit on Bethel Johnson, who ran it for 18 yards. And the New England Patriots will start out from their 26-yard line. The quarterback is Tom Brady. Matt Light, Tom Ashworth at the tackles, Russ Holstein, Joe Andruzzi at the guards, and the center is Dan Copen. Antoine Smith in the backfield as the second half gets underway. Here is Brady with the handoff. Smith running to his right, gets out to the 27-yard line. Julius Peppers able to make the stop, 2 yards for Antoine Smith.
Well, teams leading at half have won 29 of the 36 Super Bowls. One game was tied at half. And, you know, Marv, the interesting thing is when the Patriots go back to their running game, they like that wham play. That's where that fullback or that offside end cracks down on one of those interior linemen. That's about the 5th time they've ran that tonight.
It's a 2nd down and 8. Smith again in the backfield. Signal being called by Brady. Now making some adjustments at the line. Long count. Brady takes. And again, the handoff to Smith on a sweep to the left. And he's able to work his way out to the 30. Chris Jenkins on the stop. In the first half, Antoine Smith, 13 carries, 43 yards. He has come on in the postseason. He said the other day, I was not running the ball like I should. He said, I'm not a dancer. Early in the year, I was trying to do too much, look for holes instead of just hitting the holes. And he feels he has turned things around during the playoffs.
Well, he's such a big back at 6'2", 230 pounds. He's not a dancer. He's a downhill runner, much like Stephen Davis. And that means just lower your shoulders, make guys miss, and move the pile.
3rd down and 6. From the 29, Kevin Falk has come on for Antoine Smith. He's on the wing with Brady working out of the shotgun. Brady takes the snap. He has the time. Now scrambles, being rushed, dumps it off. He has Falk running his way out across the 35, close to the 1st down. Stopped by the middle linebacker, Dan Morgan. Went for 6 yards on the play.
And just going to be short. And again, it's all about the pass rush of the Carolina Panthers. Again, these tackles for the New England Patriots having a heck of a time. They have 2 guys on Jenkins. Jenkins does all he can. He's pushing up the middle. Brenston Buckner comes off of his guy at the line of scrimmage, and that's all because Mike Rucker is coming around the back. So a good job by the defensive line of the Carolina Panthers.
So the punting unit has come on. Here's Ken Walter. Back at his 21, Steve Smith, who has had an adventure as the punt returner, is back at his 22. Forced punt by Walter.
He's too deep, Marv. Smith is way too deep.
It's a shorter punt that bounces around the 40-yard line. Again, does not take the good hop for the Patriots, and it is down right around the 40. Only a 23-yard punt. He had a 22-yarder earlier. Brian Kitchen able to down it, so the Carolina Panthers will get it back in good field position. 12 and a half remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's the Patriots 14, Panthers 10. This is Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 38.
Today's broadcast of Super Bowl 38 on CBS Radio Sports and Westwood One is being heard in over 170 countries around the world and over 200 ships at sea via the American Forces Radio Network. We'd like to take this opportunity to give a special welcome and thank you to all of the troops serving our country and taking a break to listen to us this evening or morning if you're overseas. Thank you very much. We have a whale of a football game, 14-10 right now for the New England Patriots.
And Boomer, I'm told troops in Iraq are listening at 5:47 a.m. in the morning. A.m. would be the morning.
We hope we can bring back a little bit of Americana back to them.
1st and 10 from the 42 for the Panthers. Along with the handoff, Stephen Davis running to his left, but he is driven back and stopped back behind the line. Richard Seymour leading the charge. Let's go downstairs. Here's John Dockery.
You know, Marvin, if the troops around the world are listening, they also know this is the kind of game that Carolina often wins. It's 14-10, and they came back a whole bunch of times. But 1 point, Steve Smith, you were talking about the punt returner for Carolina. Boomer, you're absolutely right. The special teams coach was running along the sidelines the last 2 or 3 times that he was back, telling him to move up, move up. Patriot punter is not that good, as you said. And Smith, for some reason, I don't know why, refuses to do it.
And he's been deep all game.
Yeah, Ken Walter, punts like a high school punter. I mean, 22, 23 yards. Move up.
All right, 2nd and long for the Panthers. Handoff to Davis off left guard. Breaks the tackle and has a 1st down running out to the 40-yard line in New England territory. Ty Law, the left corner, able to make the stop. And a penalty marker is down. If that holds up, it's 15 on the play.
Penalty, receive 2nd down.
And that's going to be holding against the Carolina Panthers, and that's going to go against Geno James. He's the left guard, and guess who he's got to block? Big old 92, Ted Washington, right in the middle. If you hold on to him, it's like hold on for dear life. He's taking you wherever he wants to go. He's 365. Well, they have him listed at 365. But Marv, he looks like about 3 of you. Thank you, I think. Like, no, I'm just saying, be like 3 of you, that's him. He's a little bit taller than me, though.
2nd and 18 back at the 34. 6 penalties on the Panthers, 3 on New England. Stephen Davis in the backfield. Here's Delhomme with the give. Davis trying to pick his way, gets to the 35-yard line, and again a flag down at the far side. Ted Washington with the wraps on Davis.
This will be offside against Mike Vrabel. He was trying to get the snap count, and he jumped over the line of scrimmage.
Offside, defense, number 50, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You know, the thing that you can already sense this second half, and we were talking about it at halftime, Marvin, you know, the defenses are going to reassert themselves. There's no question about that. I mean, you know, a couple plays, broken down plays, and a great play by Ricky Prohl on a 3rd down that saved the game for the Carolina Panthers when they were backed up. I mean, you know, that's all that the offense has been able to sniff.
2nd and 13 at the 39. His play action. Delhomme throws to the left side. He completes. Wiggins able to break the tackle, then hurdles another. What a spectacular move as he heads to the sideline, right to the marker. Roman Pfeiffer finally got him. A 14-yard advance. It is a first down. Jermaine Wiggins, a one-time Patriot, grew up in East Boston. He spent the 2001 season with New England. In fact, started 6 games, played for New England in the Super Bowl. What a terrific play by Wiggins. He was able to hurdle over the free safety, Eugene Wilson.
And he ran over Tyrone Poole, and you talk about a guy that's motivated. I would think Wiggins has a few things to say to Bill Belichick.
It is a first down at the New England 46. Delhomme back to throw, facing the rush. He fires, and he completes out at the 41. Again, it's Wiggins. His forward progress is stopped. He's pushed back the other way by Harrison, but he did pick up 6 yards.
Yeah, certainly I think Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, a little bit more aggressive now, 2 pass plays in a row. And they're not in their 2-minute drill like they were at the end of the first half. So again, another little shallow cross. Wiggins going from right to left. Delhomme finds him, a nicely thrown ball. A good, solid pocket to stand into. And Wiggins holds on to it as Rodney Harrison hits him right in the back and then holds on.
So 2 catches for Wiggins, who had only 8 in all during the regular season. It's a 2nd down and 4 at the New England 40. Davis in the backfield. It's a full house backfield. He's the feature back. Delhomme is back to throw. Looking right. He sidearms and completes. It's caught and then knocked out of the receiver's hands. New England thought it would be a catch and a fumble on the head. It was Musa Muhammad who had it momentarily. It is ruled an incomplete pass.
And a beautiful thrown ball by Jake Delhomme as he buys some time, moves to his right and throws sidearm. You know, Danny Marino was telling me that one of the reasons he loves Jake is because you can throw the ball from all different angles, and he throws it accurately. And Musa Muhammad clearly has the football. Ty Law takes his legs out. The ball goes up in the air and comes right to Eugene Wilson. Now, they're not going to change this, and they're not going to review it, but I think this was clearly a fumble. You know, because it was ruled an incomplete pass down on the sideline, so they cannot review it.
It is a 3rd down and 4 at the Patriot 40-yard line. Delhomme takes the snap, rolling right. He pumps again, and again he sidearms. A diving attempt that is incomplete. Ricky Prohl inside the 20, tried to make the adjustment, came back for it, but it's an incomplete pass. And it brings up a 4th and 4, and the punting unit will check in. This is the 6th punt of the game for Todd Sauerbrunn, who averaged just under 45 yards per punt during the regular season, making it to the Pro Bowl. And today he's right around that mark. Troy Brown is back at his 9. Sauerbrunn will punt from his 45. He takes the snap, steps into it, and lofts one. It is caught. Fair catch called for by Brown, and he made the catch inside the 10. A 31-yard punt by Sauerbrunn, was just trying to keep it in play. So we'll take a break. 9:13 to go in this 3rd quarter. Patriots 14, Panthers 10. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Jim Gray is working his way around the stadium. You never know who he would run into. Let's go to Jim.
A very, very special man indeed. The only man in the history of the National Football League to be a scout, an assistant coach, a general manager, a president, an owner, and a commissioner. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's won 3 Super Bowls. We're with Al Davis of the Raiders right here. Al, Houston, an old AFL team. What memories does Houston bring for you?
In 1966, Jim, I was named commissioner of the American Football League. I had just given up coaching when I was coach of the year and became the commissioner, and we created an environment that was the masterpiece of the merger, the formulation of the merger that brought the National Football League and the American Football League together so that we could play these great games called the Super Bowl.
Al, you just hired Norv Turner after a long look at a lot of coaches. What made you...
Well, Jim, as you well know, we have the best winning records in professional football. We believe that we have had great coaches to the great players.
More with Al. We'll let you finish that answer after this play, Al. Mark?
All right, Jim, New England starting out from their 10-yard line. They line up in the I. Here's Brady. Back to throw. Brady throws down the middle, and it is dropped. Incomplete pass. Deion Branch, the intended receiver. Let's get back to Jim with Al Davis.
All right, I'll continue on Norv Turner.
Yes, Jim, we have great fans all over the world. We have great players, and we wanted to pass the torch to Norv Turner because the Raiders had a year of discontent this year. We came off the Super Bowl, had a very bad year, and the intention is to get the Raiders back where they belong at the top.
Al, we'll have one final thought. Let's go back to Marv for another play.
All right, 2nd and 10. At the 10-yard line, Antoine Smith in the backfield. Here is Brady to throw. He throws over the middle. A bullet that is caught at the 14. A short advance. Troy Brown on the catch. Picked up 5. Met by Dan Morgan. Back to Jim.
Al, you mentioned the year of defeat that you just went through. Can your team rebound? You call yourself the team of the decades. Can they be back in this game within a year or two?
Well, within a year or two is very tough, but we've always been able to handle toughness. Bowls, maybe 3 others were taken from us, but we think we can be back, and that's our intention.
Al Davis, thank you very much. Back to you, Marv.
All right, guys, Kevin Falk in the backfield for the Patriots. A 3rd down and 5 at the 15. Here's Brady throwing in the right flat. It is caught by Falk. Has a 1st down out of the 21-yard line. He's met by the corner, Ricky Manning Jr. It's good for 7. And a Patriot 1st down. Boomer, I like the way Al referred to a year of discontent.
To say the least. I mean, Charles Woodson coming on television and going after his head coach, Bill Callahan, who's now the head coach for the University of Nebraska. And, you know, Norv Turner, I mean, offensive-minded, that is the history of Al Davis, and he's going to be asked to complete a very tall task. I bet you they draft a high quarterback. 2nd overall pick in the draft this year.
All right, 1st down at the 22. They line up. In the I, Antoine Smith, Larry Centers in the backfield. Here's the toss. Smith running to his right, able to get across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And now let's check in downstairs with John Riggins.
You know, Charlie Weiss said all week that when the New England Patriots had lost games this past fall, it was because they didn't run enough. I believe in the second half we're going to see more of Antoine Smith and perhaps Kevin Falk to try and at least get some short gains and come up with the 3rd and shorts. And that last pass play to Kevin Falk to move the sticks, I think was critical because there's no way they wanted Ken Walter to punt from down here on their own 10-yard line. I mean, that would have been given the field position to Carolina.
All right, John Smith has carried 16 times for 51 yards. It's a 2nd and 6. Again to give to Smith. He heads up the middle and works his way out to the 29, short of a 1st down. 3 on the play. Again, it's Dan Morgan, 3-year player from Miami, making the stop.
You know, I think Riggo is exactly right, too. You're talking about a running game that was 27th in the league. That was the New England Patriots, averaging just a little bit over 100 yards. But Charlie Weiss knows, as does everybody else in this league, you have to be able to run it. And off of that run comes all those little play-action passes, which Tom Brady is so good at.
Brady now looking at a 3rd down and 3 at the 29. Split backfield with Falk and Centers. Brady takes inside handoff. Falk pulling his way right near the marker. Al Wallace, right defensive end, makes the stop. We'll have to see where it is marked.
This looks like it's going to be a measurement, and I got to tell you that how many times tonight have we seen this particular situation? As the Patriots actually sent on their punt team, And the Panthers are sending on their punt return team, so they're going to bring out the chains, but it seems like everybody's just assuming that this is going to be fourth down. So how many times have we seen this tonight? It's got to be at least 3 or 4 times where it's been a couple inches.
And we had that one disputed call.
Right.
That went to replay.
Wow, this is less than 2 inches.
Isn't it amazing that the Patriots were so sure that they fell short? They ran off the field, sent the punt unit on, and look how close it was.
It's amazing to me. And again, we get back to the point where now Steve Smith is so far back. He's about 50 yards back from the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's got to move up a little bit. Now, this is Morgan, Dan Morgan, the middle linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, his 13th tackle of this Super Bowl.
And Ken Walters' last punts, 22 and 23.
Hey, Steve Smith, come on, move up a little bit. Put a transistor in his helmet and let him listen to me. You got to move up.
Boomer, you look like the manager waving the guy to shade further to right field. Smith is way back at his 25-yard line, and Waller gets away a good one. Smith has to backpedal, takes it to 17. He loses a tackler. Penalty marker is thrown as he gets up to the 20-yard line. Well, Walter, with his best punt of the night, 51 yards.
Probably caught Steve Smith a little bit by surprise. I think it's going to be a block in the back by Brian Allen in the 52 of the Carolina Panthers. It happened right in front of the official.
Good coverage by Gerard Cherry, able to make the tackle. Would not allow Steve Smith, who has terrific speed, would not allow him to get a move on.
We talked about the punt game and how important it was going to be in this game simply because of the defensive nature of both teams.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 52. It's a 10-yard penalty. Carolina keeps the ball, first down.
That's Brian Allen called on the penalty. We'll take a break with just under 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Patriots 14, Panthers 10. All the scoring in the final 3.5 minutes of the first half. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Welcome back to the Acura broadcast booth. We're at Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. Marv Albert, Boomer Esiason, John Dockery, John Riggins, Jim Gray. You're listening to Super Bowl 38 exclusively on CBS Radio Sports and Westwood One. We have 5:53 to go in this third quarter, and the Patriots have a 14-10 lead on the Panthers. They are starting out at their 10-yard line. They have Davis and Hoover in the backfield. Jake Delhomme calling signals. Delhomme takes, and the handoff to Davis. Drives off right tackle and picks up very short yardage. Stephen Davis stopped by Bobby Hamilton.
You know, how bad has it been for the Panthers offense in terms of field position tonight? It's the 4th time that they're starting a drive at their own 11 or worse. I think that Dan Henning has been very conservative in this part of the field, and it was a third down play at the end of the first half that Ricky Kroll made that saved the game to this point for the Panthers.
Second and 8 out at the 12-yard line. Davis, 12 carries, now 43 yards again. Takes the handoff and able to bull his way across the 15-yard line, met by Teddy Bruschi. Picked up 5 on the play. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery.
You know, Marvin, Boom, it'll be very interesting to see what they do on this third down play with Jake Delhomme, because you notice they started moving him out, rolling him out of the pocket to avoid the rush. The way the Pats were doing the same thing with Brady, and it seemed to be helping Delhomme somewhat. Let's see if they do it here.
Third down tonight, Carolina Panthers are 2 of 9.
And they have a third down at about 3 across the 16-yard line. Once again, Davis is the feature back. Delhomme takes the handoff, faces the rush. He's in trouble. Running to his left, he falls down. He lost his balance, lost the football, but he may have been down by contact. Yes, Rodney Harrison able to put the pressure on Delhomme.
And he just tripped up Jake, and as he was falling, the ball fell out of Jake's hand as it hit the ground. So good call by Ed Hockley. And again, Rodney Harrison. Why is that so significant? Well, that's a blitz. And he got back there, and Jake Delhomme just is not fleet of foot enough to get away from a defender such as Rodney Harrison.
So the punting unit checks in. 7th punt for Todd Sauerbrunn. Again, he's at his goal line, and now Smith at the New England 40, and Sauerbrunn kicks it away. Just say Troy Brown at the 40. Brown takes takes it at the 39 and works his way up to the 45-yard line, and a penalty flag is tossed. 48-yard punt and a 6-yard return for Brown. Jared Cooper involved on the tackle, but let's see what this flag involves.
You know, most of these Super Bowls, when you're trying to predict what's going to happen, you could sit here and you analyze all these teams, and you know, sometimes they come to fruition, but this game couldn't have been played any more predictable. I mean, you know, John Fox being extremely conservative.
Holding by the receiving team, number 58. That's a 10-yard penalty, and it's enforced from the end of the kick. 10 yards, New England keeps the ball, first down.
It's called on Matt Chatham, backup linebacker and special teams guy.
He's the guy that knocked the streaker over.
Yes, he did.
Getting his name called twice.
That did not go down as an official tackle, though.
You want a Twizzler niblet?
No, I'm okay. All right. 3:57 remaining in the third. Patriots 14 and the Panthers 10. What are you eating?
Twizzler niblets.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. The New England Patriots will start out from their 29-yard line, just under 4 minutes to play. In the third quarter, Patriots 14 and the Panthers 10. All the scoring accomplished, Boomer, when you were out of the booth.
Yeah, how about that? You know, this actually looks like the start of the game. Both defenses reasserting themselves. I thought that they would be able to do that. And both offenses struggling to move the football.
Mike Brady out of the shotgun. Empty backfield. They spread it out. Here's Brady back to throw. He fires. It is caught at the 45 by Deion Branch, who has had a magnificent game. That for 16 yards. The right corner, Reggie Howard, on the tackle, and a first down for New England. And that reception, number 7 for 104 yards for Branch.
And Christian Fourier almost got in the way of that ball. He was running a shallow cross from right to left, and Branch was cutting in from left to right. And Fourier almost got his hand on it, and Branch stayed with it.
A first down at the 45 as they line up. We have penalty flags thrown.
And this is going to be on Chris Jenkins. He had one of these earlier in the game, in the first quarter, so
Coachman,
reminiscing.
Defense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Panthers called for their 8th penalty of the game. Only 4 on New England. And it sets up a 1st and 5 at midfield. Antoine Smith, Larry centers in the backfield. They're lined up in the eye. Brady calling it out. And Brady takes. He's straight back to throw. And looking deep. He fires downfield down at the 10-yard line. It is broken up. Pass intended for Bethel Johnson, a guy with blazing speed, and he was covered and covered well by the strong safety, Mike Minner, who is considered the heart of this Panther defensive unit.
I love the call, 1st and 5. Why not take a shot down the field? But this almost backfired. Minner almost had the interception. I mean, he was right there. He didn't make a very athletic play for it. And one of the reasons that ball had to be thrown so quickly was because Mike Rucker, again, got to Tom Brady. And remember, we were talking about those matchups, those tackles against those defensive ends.
Brady looking at a 2nd and 5 at the 50. Brady takes the handoff to Smith, drives off the left side, off left tackle, and scrambles his way to the 46-yard line, stopped by the free safety Deion Branch. Antoine Smith going for 4.
And what Charlie Weiss is doing with the running game is he's running these trap plays where he's trying to run underneath those pass rushing defensive ends. And you know, you get yourself into these 3rd and short situations. That's exactly what you want to do. And you know, even though the Patriots haven't had much success in this particular situation, you'd much rather have this than 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12, somewhere around there. So 3rd and 1 right here.
Brings up a 3rd and 1 with Richard Seymour in the backfield, along with Antoine Smith. The handoff to Smith, following Seymour on the right side, turns the corner, has the first down, and some more. He was led by Seymour, the 6'6", 310-pound right defensive end. It's a first down for New England. Let's go downstairs to John Riggins.
This is one of those drives, guys, that I feel like, you know, that Carolina has to be aware of, because this game could very easily get away from them right now. It's very subtle, very insidious. It's kind of like fishing in the tide when you wade off the beach and all of a sudden the tide starts coming up. You better make sure you get enough time to get back there, and that's afraid that Carolina could run out of time if New England scores a touchdown.
All right, John, it is a first down for New England at the Carolina 40-yard line. Kevin Falk in the backfield. Brady takes. Brady looking left. He throws in the left flat. He has Falk. Falk gets inside. Branch gets inside the 35-yard line. Went for 7 on the play, so that's number 8. 8th catch of the day for Branch.
You know, Marv, the great thing about having John down on the sidelines, they could feel the momentum shift, and Rigo's exactly right. I think he meant, I don't know if it's kind of swimming upstream. I don't know that's fishing stuff, but the thing that I do know is that a little bit about momentum, and he's exactly right, because right now the Patriots just kind of lulling right down the field, and they've gotten themselves back in a little bit of rhythm on offense.
2nd and 2, hand off to Falk, driving off right guard, has the first down, but a flag is down. Mike Minter making the stop, but a penalty marker is thrown.
Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
So they'll bring it back. Joe Andruzzi, the right guard, called for the hold.
Well, that's one thing that can take a little bit of the momentum out or a little steam away from what you've been doing. And, you know, football does have its ebbs and flows. And, you know, we were talking about it with John Riggins during the AFC Championship game, how New England had every opportunity to put, you know, Indianapolis away in that game, and they just didn't do it. And there's stupid penalties, and they had to settle for field goals. Well, don't forget, Adam Vinatieri has already missed 2 field goals today, and that was a key penalty right there in this drive.
Sets the Patriots back to a 2nd and 12 at the Panther 42. 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Falk is the lone defense. Here's the fake handoff, and Brady throws. He has a wide open man at the 20. It's Daniel Graham down to the 10, inside the 10-yard line, and he is hauled down from behind by Mike Minter. A 35-yard pass play. 2nd catch of the game for Daniel Graham, and it sets up a 1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
And what a great play fake by Tom Brady and Kevin Falk in the backfield as they fake the draw. Morgan gets sucked up ever so slightly, and also Will Witherspoon lost his mind too because he was looking in the backfield, and Daniel Graham stuck in behind him, and Tom Brady threw it perfectly.
And lined up in the eye with centers in front of Smith. Handoff to Smith, running hard, drives his way down to the 5-yard line. Met by the free safety, Deion Grant. Final seconds of this 3rd quarter, and now time runs out, so that's the end of the 3rd. The Patriots on the doorstep. When we come back to start the 4th, they lead the Panthers 14-10. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Back in Houston and ready to go on the 4th quarter. The start of the 4th quarter brought to you by Subway. When you think of fresh starts, think of Subway sandwiches. Good so you don't always have to be. Subway. Eat fresh.
How about sending the Subway up here right now so I don't have to eat these niblets anymore? But I'll tell you what, Tom Brady putting together a very impressive performance right now. 19 of 29, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. Remember, he was the MVP the last time the Patriots played in the Super Bowl against the St. Louis Rams, and he's followed that performance up with what I think is a much better performance, especially because he's been getting beat around tonight, Marv. He's been getting hit a lot. And Charlie Weiss has been smart. He's been rolling him out of the pocket, getting him away from that pass rush, and a lot of the big plays that he's made tonight have actually come on the play action. And when you play against an aggressive defense like the Panthers, it's a good way to counteract that aggressiveness.
Beautiful play action pass to Daniel Graham to set up this 2nd and goal just inside the 5-yard line. Here's Brady to the line, ducking it under the center. The lone setback is Antoine Smith. Signals being called as this 4th quarter gets underway. Brady back to throw. He pumps again, throws end zone, touchdown. It is caught right in the corner, and no, it's being waved off. Christian Poirier thought he was inbounds.
There's going to be a flag on the play, too, and I think it might either be holding on the defense or it could be interference right in the center of the field. But I'm sure we'll see a replay, and here it is right now. Tom Brady, again, cool customer in the pocket, just moves a little bit to his left and lofts the ball over the head of Minter. And Poirier looks like his left leg, his left foot hits in.
Before
his
the pass
left knee is out of bounds.
Holding defense, number 53. Half the distance to the goal. New England's ball, automatic first down.
Well, the hold is on the strong side linebacker, Greg Favors, and in looking at the replay of the pass from Brady to Poirier, there's no question that the knee did touch
Yeah, and
out of bounds.
And I'm sure New England Patriot fans are going to want like a replay here, but you wouldn't want to waste a replay here when you have a first down in here, unless you absolutely knew that this was a touchdown. But it clearly was so close that I don't think Bill Belichick would even think about attempting to, replay challenge this.
It's a first and goal from about 2.5 yards out. Carolina hurting themselves with penalties. That's their 9th of the game. Richard Seymour checks back in. He's in the backfield as the blocker for Antoine Smith. Here's Brady with the handoff. Smith driving off right tackle, and he's in for the touchdown, and again led by Seymour. A 2-yard touchdown run by Antoine Smith as the Patriots add to the lead.
It's right off tackle. This is the play that they've been trying to run all night on. 3rd and 1, and they haven't been able to make it, and finally this thing breaks through, and a great lead block, as you said, Marv, by, that's right, the all-pro defensive end, Richard Seymour, who lines up as fullback.
Here's Adam Vinatieri getting ready to take the extra point.
Well, he was blocking Minner. He's a little defensive back compared to Seymour, so maybe it wasn't so great.
All right, this has been an adventure between the long snap, and Walter again takes a low snap, able to put it down, and Vinatieri kicks it through.
Well, the Patriots are so good that they can, make mistakes on special teams and still win.
So another red zone touchdown, and with that touchdown, Milwaukee Electric Tool makes another donation to Habitat for Humanity. Milwaukee Electric Tool. Look for the red zone at your local distributor, hardware store, or home center. New England 21 and Carolina 10. We are opening minute, 4th quarter. This is Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 38.
Well,
trip for Bonnie?
I guess, she wants it to become a regular trip, I can tell you that.
Here is Adam Vinatieri with the kickoff. Rod Smart is back deep. Good kick, played in the end zone by Smart, runs it out. He's to the 10, 15, stumbles and goes down. No one touched him. He fell down at the 18-yard line. A 20-yard return. Larry Izzo was in the area, but Smart just lost his balance. Let's check in with John Ricketts. John?
Guys, I'm afraid if I'm Dan Henning right now, I look at my offense and I tell them, gentlemen, start your engines. And my belief right now is they need to go down and make something happen, because it's obvious that the momentum has swung back to the Patriots. But having said that, keep in mind that the Patriots have been a very charitable team in the championship game. Who knows about the Super Bowl?
All right, John. Deshaun Foster now in the backfield, coming on for Stephen Davis. Panthers start out from their 19-yard line, going from right to left in this 4th quarter. Here's Delhomme to throw on play action. He fires. He completes. Has a first down across the 30 as he hooks up with Muhsin Muhammad. That's good for 13. Mr. Stats, our statistician Elliot Boomer points out that no team has ever come back from 11 points down to win a Super Bowl, and it is an 11-point Patriot lead.
And you can see what the Panthers are doing now, Marv, going to the no-huddle offense, trying to recreate that excitement that they had at the end of the first half. And right now there's a penalty on the play here, so we'll see what happens. But
before the ball was snapped, ball start, offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty.
That's the
first down.
The right guard.
Well, smart by Dan Henning, that's for sure, to try to get this team ignited, as John Riggins just said. It's about starting your engine and starting to play. 14-15 and counting in the 4th quarter, and they got to get Jake Delhomme moving again.
Evan Donnelly called for that false start, and that is the 10th penalty assessed for 58 yards on the Panthers. New England with only 6. Stephen Davis is back. Davis and Hoover in the backfield, 1st and 15 at the 27. Play action as Delhomme takes. Delhomme in trouble, facing pressure, running to his left, looking to square up and throws. Loops one that is caught out of the 45. A leaping catch by Steve Smith. So Delhomme improvising, and it's an 18-yard pass play. Time once again to check in with John Dockery, brought to you by Consort Hair Care for Men, guaranteed to give you great hold. Doc?
You guys have been talking about the pressure squarely on Jake Delhomme. Right after this play, I'll get back to you.
They're in the hurry up, so Delhomme takes out of the gun. Delhomme running to his right. Delhomme throwing, and it is incomplete. Threw over the head of Brad Hoover, was way downfield down at the 20-yard line. Hoover coming out of the backfield, being covered by Rodney Harrison. Once again, back to John.
Yeah, and talking to John Fox, he said his quarterback, Delhomme, has it. And I said, well, what is it? And Fox said, well, poise, talent, leadership. He somehow finds a way to get it done. And remember, Carolina won a whole bunch of games late, including 4 or 5 in overtime. But that wasn't against the Patriot defense.
Malone 9 for 22, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. 2nd and 10 at the 45, split backfield for the Panthers. Malone takes, he throws, he floats one, a leaping catch made for another first down inside the 35. It's Steve Smith on the reception, covered by Tyrone Poole, and that's good for 22.
And what it is that John was referring to is the ability to inspire your teammates and let them believe that you can win a game with him back there, and that's exactly what the Carolina Panthers have in Jake Delhomme.
Delhomme out of the gun, first down at the 33-yard line. He throws to the right flat. It is incomplete. No one in sight. It brings up a 2nd and 10.
Well, the interesting thing about Delhomme, he had a 71.2 QB rating in the first half of games, 7 TDs and 10 interceptions. Second half, all of a sudden, 94.2 with 15 TD passes and 7 interceptions. I just think he gets more into the game when they go to this no-huddle situation like they are in now.
And he's out of the gun. Here's an inside handoff to Foster, driving off the left side, gets inside the 30, breaks the tackle, he's to the 20, he's to the 10, 5, touchdown! Deshaun Foster somehow broke tackles, was able to work his way free from this tackle by the free safety, Eugene Wilson, and he took it for 33 yards, and the Panthers are right back in it.
And they are right back in it, and what a terrific run by Deshaun Foster. Now listen, the Panthers now are going to go for 2. I'm not for this. I'm never for this. They're chasing ghosts here. I mean, I understand why they're doing it. It's 21-16. They want to get to 21-18. But you know, where can this point hurt you if you do not make the 2-pointers, meaning that you're foregoing the extra point? I mean, I never liked this, Marv. But I understand these coaches. This is still a long way to go in this football game. I mean, 12 minutes and 39 seconds. But what a great run by Deshaun Foster.
So they're lining up for the 2-point conversion. Foster remains in the backfield. That was only his 2nd carry of the night. He had not been a factor. Here's DeLong calling signal. DeLong takes, back to throw. He throws. It is incomplete. He threw a bullet intended for Muhsin Muhammad, so they fail on the 2-point conversion. And the score remains Patriots 21 and the Panthers 16, 12:39 remaining in the 4th quarter. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Welcome back to the Accurate Broadcast booth in Houston, Texas. Marv Albert, former Esiason, John Dockery, John Riggins, Jim Gray. You're listening to Super Bowl 38 exclusively on CBS Radio Sports and Westwood One. That 33-yard touchdown run by Deshaun Foster represents the longest run of the season against the Patriots. John Casey is teeing it up, and he will kick it off now to the combination of Bethel Johnson and Kevin Falk, whom I know you did not like. The Panthers going for that 2-point conversion.
I always say never go for 2 until you have to, and that's usually inside of 5 minutes of the game.
All right, here is Casey with the kick drifting off to the far side, and it is taken by Kevin Falk. Checked out by Bethel Johnson, running up to the 25-yard line, and picks up 13 on the play. So we'll take a break with 12 and a half to go in the 4th quarter. Patriots 21, Panthers 16. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
The NFL season-ending celebration continues with the best players in the AFC and NFC competing in the league's annual Pro Bowl next Sunday. And there's still time to come to say aloha and be a part of the NFL's 25th anniversary in the land of paradise, and I can attest to that. To book your travel, all you have to do is call our friends at Pleasant Holidays at 1-800-5-HAWAII or go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl. And Marv, I just don't like going for 2 because you're chasing points and you're taking a point off the board, and you never know where that point can come back and hurt you here towards the end of the game. And the success ratio for going for 2 is not that good, and I just don't like it. I never have and never will.
right, New England back to the offense. Antoine Smith in the backfield. Here's Brady looking to throw. He does on a crossing pattern. He completes across the 40 and has a first down, connecting with his favorite receiver tonight, Deion Branch. Pick up a 15 on the play. That's his 9th catch. Reggie Howard, the right corner, able to make the stop. Let's go to John Riggins downstairs.
Boomer, there's a reason, obviously, why I played running back, because myself, I didn't see any problem with what John Fox just did there. And any way you go, you're still going to need a touchdown, and even if you don't, if you get that touchdown, you can always go for 2 on the next one and come out and overcome that field goal.
Well, we'll see. All right, first out at the 41. His play action as Brady takes a shot. He throws, and Troy Brown not able to hold on. And the right flat out of the 47-yard line. A big rush on Tom Brady. The blitz was coming. Dan Morgan, who has had an outstanding game, 15 tackles and counting from Morgan, was right in the face of Brady.
You know, one of those middle linebackers from University of Miami, that guy down in Baltimore, he's pretty good too. But I'll tell you what, Dan Morgan is pretty sudden today. He's all over the football field.
It's a 2nd and 10. Patriots from their 41. Brady works out of the shotgun. Antoine Smith to his right. Here's Brady taking the snap, guns it, completes at the 46. He has Brown. Nice move. Gets out to midfield and has a first down. Julius Peppers out to make the tackle. A 12-yard hookup and a first down for New England.
The other thing about not making that 2-point play also kind of takes a little of the momentum away from you. And now this is such an important drive for the Patriots to come back here and answer that last drive by the Carolina Panthers. And so far, Tom Brady's been able to do that. It's been a really good game because it's been physical for him. Guys in his face, and he's still delivering it accurately.
First down at the Carolina 48-yard line. Brady with the inside handoff. Smith running to his right, breaks a tackle and reaches to the 41-yard line. He was taken down by the strong safety Mike Minter, an 8-yard advance. Antoine Smith, once again, has had a solid game.
He really has. And again, I go back to the point that you're playing against one of the more physical defenses in football. And, that's evidenced by how good this defensive line is, how good Dan Morgan is. And I mean, here in the second half, they've actually moved the ball pretty well to have the Patriots. So a lot of that has to do with the timing that Brady has with Branch, but also that offensive line opening some holes for Antoine Smith.
2nd and 2 at the 41. They line up in the I, long count. Brady takes. Here's the pitch. Smith running to his right. Gets inside the 40-yard line, but short of a first down. The right defensive tackle, Chris Jenkins, able to make the stop. 2 weeks ago in the AFC Championship game against the Colts, Smith ran for 100 yards. Thus far tonight, 22 carries, 77 yards.
And this is his hometown. He's coming back here, and he wants to put on a show, and certainly, feeling like, he has something to prove, because as he told us, Marv, earlier, this week, he wasn't running with the authority that he was used to running with.
Antoine played at the University of Houston. It's a 3rd and 1 at the 30-yard line. Here's Brady taking, play action, he throws, he completes, has the first down. Once again, it's the backup tight end, Daniel Graham, his 3rd catch of the game. Witherspoon able to make the tackle, goes for 6 yards, and another New England first down. Now, last week, Christian Fourier, who has not been a guy that Brady has been looking for, had 2 critical drops against the Colts in the AFC title game.
Patriots so good on 3rd and short in their passing game. They roll Tom Brady a little bit to the right. They have those 3 receivers over there, and they just scurry them out, and they all go in different directions. And the Panthers are having trouble with those pick plays.
1st and 10 at the Carolina 33. Now they have it to the 12. Big hole on the right. He's to the 25, the 20, the 15. He's to the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for New England. Witherspoon able to chase him down, a 23-yard run. And a 1st and goal for New England.
Okay, I've been on the tackles a little bit of the New England Patriots for this game. Well, I'm going to give them a little bit of a pat on the back right here. Right tackle, Tom Ashworth, a great kick-out block on Julius Peppers, and he opens the hole completely wide open for Kevin Falk. And then Greg Favors, the strong side linebacker, overruns it and leaves his position void, and Falk makes the most out of it.
Antoine Smith is back, 1st and goal, just inside the 10-yard line. Brady takes the handoff. Smith able to break a tackle, picks up a yard, running to his left. Been a pretty good combination here tonight between Antoine Smith and Kevin Falk. Falk has gone five carries, 39 yards to add to what Antoine Smith has done.
You know, no superstars in the backfield, but quality football players. 2 years ago, the reason that they went to the Super Bowl and won it was not only because of Tom Brady, but was because of Antoine Smith, who they had picked up as a free agent. Gave him over 1,000 yards that year, but a nice complement of backs back there with Falk, Smith, and centers.
Second and goal at the 9. Ninth play of the drive for the Patriots. Brady ducks in under. The tight end Fourier in motion. Now Brady takes. Looking end zone. Steps up. He throws. He fires. It is incomplete. The pass intended for Gibbons. On a post pattern, he was covered by Cousin.
Go back to the first half, Marv. There was a critical third down play where Tom Brady took off and ran with the football right up the middle. And the Carolina Panthers showed him the same coverage. He could have ran this ball into the end zone if his antennas were up. I think he was trying to get himself a third touchdown pass, but he could have stepped up and took off with it because the Panthers were playing man coverage and nobody was responsible for him.
It's a third and goal at the 9. Falk in the backfield. Brown in motion. Moving right to left. Brady takes. Brady pumps. Now he throws end zone, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Reggie Howard, running his way to the 10, and he's taken down. So Tom Brady, who is rarely picked off, is intercepted in the end zone, and the Panthers have it back with 7 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Patriots 21 and the Panthers 16. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Tom Brady, MVP of the Super Bowl a couple of years back, has been brilliant in the Super Bowl. That's the first time he has been intercepted in 62 passes thrown.
And you know, Jim Gray interviewed Tom Brady in our pregame, and he told Jim that, listen, I was so worried about that interception that I threw against Indianapolis in the AFC Championship game that made me sick pretty much to my stomach. I wasn't even thinking about winning the game. I was just so sick over the interception. Well, if he was sick over that one, he might be thrown up on the sideline after that last one because he had no business throwing the ball where he threw it.
You're painting lovely thoughts for us, Boomer.
Well, it is a football game, Mark.
Carolina starts out.
Not a tennis match.
From the 10-yard line with Davis in the backfield. Here's Delhomme back to throw. He throws in the right flat. It's caught, and a penalty flag is down. It's caught by Ricky Prohl. Picked up 5 if it holds up.
And let me just give you a little scenario here as to why you wouldn't want to go for 2 the last time the Panthers went down and scored a touchdown. Because now, if they do score a touchdown, that would make it 21 to 22. They would be up. They would have to go for 2 because the 1 point there at the extra point doesn't mean anything. Doesn't help you.
Before the ball was thrown, illegal hands to the face of the defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The outside linebacker, Willie McGinnis, who was called on the penalty.
And that's the third time that somebody in the secondary, whether it be a linebacker or a cornerback or safety, has been called for a play like that in this game. And remember, after that AFC Championship game, they weren't getting those calls where the Indianapolis Colts. So somebody was watching film and somebody was listening and reading, and I'm sure the guys in the stripes were those guys, were those people.
Off the penalty, it's a first down for the Panthers from their 15-yard line. Jake Delhomme, during the regular season, led 7 drives in which Carolina scored the decisive points inside the game's final 2 minutes of regulation or in overtime. Let's see what he has up his sleeve here. Delhomme is back to throw, facing pressure. He spun around, gets it away, he fires it into the ground, and there is a penalty flag down. Richard Seymour applying the pressure on Delhomme.
Now, there is a flag down. Everybody's assuming that this might be intentional grounding, and it looked like to me that Ed Hockley, the referee, was pointing to a receiver in the area of where the ball was. I was surprised he didn't call Delhomme down because he was in the grasp of Richard Seymour, but it looked like he was able to get rid of the football, so Hockley decided to let the play continue, and then the flag came in way from the sideline, so we'll see what happens here.
Has been sacked 4 times tonight, 2 by Vrabel, 1 by McGinnis, 1 by Harrison.
There was no intentional grounding on the play. The ball was thrown at the
tackle. He just misspoke. It's 69, the right tackle of the Carolina Panther offense who was downfield. So he was the ineligible receiver downfield, but there was no intentional grounding.
And number 86, the tight end, Chris Mangum. So Ed Hockley explaining that the ball was thrown at Mangum's feet. Carolina moves up to the line. We hear the whistle. An official timeout.
And then they're going to come over and talk to Bill Belichick about this and just explain actually what happened on the field. And that's the question of whether or not the down counts, or do you want to take the penalty? And they explained it to Belichick's liking.
The choice of the captain. New England wishes to decline that penalty.
Okay, there you go.
Therefore, it's 2nd down and 10.
So that's the smart thing to do, and Bill Belichick is right on it, as he always is. And those are the little subtleties of the game that some coaches might not catch, but certainly Belichick and Fox, for that matter, on the other side, are obviously very aware of what's happening out in front of them.
So instead, it's a 2nd and 10 up at the 15-yard line. Sean Foster in the backfield, a split backfield. The lone takes. He is back to throw. Scrambles. He's in trouble. He throws. It is incomplete. Deflected off the hand of Steve Smith. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. We have 7 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Patriots with a 21-16 lead. New England was driving. Tom Brady was intercepted. Panthers get the ball back. And now a 3rd and 10 at the 15. Dalome's numbers are 10 of 26, 185 yards. 1 touchdown. Here on the Panthers to the line, led by their center, Jeff Mitchell. Foster in the backfield. And as you can hear, this has been a New England crowd throughout the night. Dalome takes. He pumps. Can't find anybody. Now he fires deep downfield. The catch by Muhammad down at the 30. He's to the 20. Outraces the defender. He's in for the touchdown. Muhammad, 85 yards. He beat the free safety Eugene Wilson. And for the first time since prior to Thanksgiving, the New England Patriots are trailing the Panthers 22 and the Patriots 21.
And now what do the Panthers have to do? They have to go for 2 again. To just kick the extra point the first time around. But what a play by Jake Delhomme as Eugene Wilson lays flat on the ground as Musa Muhammad just completely runs past Tylaw and then the safety. And he is just so far downfield that I don't think Wilson thought that Delhomme could reach him. But he's got a cannon for an arm, and we just saw it in the Super Bowl. And what a throw and play, and what a nice catch by Musa Muhammad. And I'll tell you what, you take a look at Jake Delhomme on the sideline, you look at his eyes, and you can understand why John Fox and his teammates love this kid.
And Boomer, that's the longest touchdown pass in the history of the Super Bowl. 85 yards. The previous long, Brett Favre to Antonio Freeman for 81 yards in Super Bowl 31. A delay here because the training staff is out to take a look at Eugene Wilson, the free safety who was beaten on that pass play.
And Musa Muhammad gave him a heck of a straight arm, and he fell right to the ground. And how sick are you right now if you're Tom Brady thinking about that interception you just threw? And, things change so quickly in an NFL game, and right now it's 22-21, and because the Carolina Panthers, the last time they scored a touchdown, went for 2, they now have to go for 2 again because they failed. If they would have just kicked the extra point, they'd be able to kick the extra point right here and go up 24-21. But because 2 points doesn't help you here, meaning 2-point lead, you go for 2 to try to get it to a 3-point lead.
Now Eugene Wilson being helped up and being guided to the New England sideline.
And I don't necessarily know that was Eugene Wilson's fault. Now, I know he's the deep safety over the top of Ty Law, and he has deep third, which means the deep outside towards the sideline. But, this ball was launched. This is like punt, pass, and kick type of stuff from Jake Delhomme. He just threw it as far as he could, and Musa Muhammad got it. I think Eugene Wilson was probably surprised that Delhomme had all that time.
And now the Panthers to the line for the 2-point conversion. They're going for the 2 because they missed the 2 earlier. They want the 3-point pad. Nick Goings in the backfield. Here's Delhomme taking the snap. He's back to throw. He throws. It is caught out of the end zone. It is caught by Kevin Dyson, but out of the end zone. So for the second time tonight, they fail on the two-point conversion attempt. 6:53 to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Panthers 22 and the Patriots 21. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
Hey, the world's greatest golfers will be at Augusta National April 5th through the 11th for this year's Masters Tournament. Follow all of your favorites in the Masters authentic website, masters.org. Excuse me, Marv. For official real-time scoring, live Masters radio and video, and complete player statistics, click on masters.org. Real-time, anytime at masters.org. You think they want you to go to masters.org? I would go to masters.org, I guess.
Homer, how about Jake Delhomme? Started out 1 for 9. He's now 11 for 27, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. As this game has progressed, he has come on.
And he has a chance to win the MVP, but I don't want to jinx him. I guess I jinxed Tom Brady a little bit.
The kickoff by Casey. It's deep, played by Johnson at the 5. He's to the 10, running left to the 20, 25, puts the speed on as he crosses the 30-yard line. A 29-yard return. Terry Cousin able to make the stop. Let's check in with John Riggins. John?
Boomer, I'm still scratching my head over this extra point because, I really think it's down to how much risk you're willing to expose yourself to, because it can be said, and I know 2 points are harder to get than an extra point, but an extra point's not guaranteed. Had they made the first 2 points, they would have kicked one. They would be in a position to win the game if New England can kick a field goal. And, bottom line, nothing else, Boomer, we ain't looking at overtime.
Yeah, that's pretty good, too, but I'd much rather be 24-21 than 22-21, taking unnecessary risks, uncharacteristic of John Fox.
All right, the Patriots will start out at their 32. We have 6:47 remaining. In the fourth quarter, Falk in the backfield. Here they come as Brady looks to get away. He does. He dumps underneath. Falk with the catch, but a short pickup. He's met by Morgan. Dan Morgan has had a sensational game. Let's go downstairs to Doug.
Let me weigh in on this controversy over the 2 points. I think John Fox might have been thinking that he wanted to get it into within 3 points for a field goal, because how much opportunity was his offense going to have?
Well, he's from Harvard, and that didn't make any sense either.
All right, 2nd and 9 out of the gun. Brady takes, looking around again, the pressure. He is hit. Down he goes, and a flag is tossed. Chris Jenkins putting the pressure on Tom Brady, but a penalty marker is down on that front 4 coming on these first 2 plays of the series.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I'll tell you right, Marv, that's Dan Morgan, I'm sorry, with that penalty, but all of a sudden now, the energy is on the side of the Panthers, and all I can tell you is that between me, Riggins, and Dockery, we got whoever's listening completely all screwed up as to whether or not you should go for 2 or not go for 2. All I know is I'd rather have 24 points as opposed to 21. Now, you guys can argue the rest of it all you want.
All right, they mark off the penalty. We'll get back to John in a moment. It's the first down for New England. 1st and 10 at the 39. Patriots going from left to right. Falk in the backfield. Brady checks it out. He's in the shotgun. Signals being called. He takes the snap. Now with time, he throws. Fires to the left flat. Has Falk out of the 43-yard line. Went for 5 on the play. Let's get back to John.
Boomer, this will be the last time I'll talk about it. I just think that Fox is saying to himself, look, my offense hasn't been the most dynamic thing in the world. The game is winding down. Maybe I won't have that many opportunities, and maybe all I'll ever get is a field goal to tie it. That was my thought.
All right, 2nd and 5 at the 44 out of the gun. Brady facing the blitz, fires. He got it away. It is incomplete. Throwing to the near side with David Gibbons in the area, but they're coming now. That was Terry Cousin from left cornerback who was putting the pressure on Tom Brady.
More like left field. He came from about 30 yards away. Brady saw him all the way. He knew he had to get rid of it, and he did a good job of getting rid of it. But right now, here we go. 3rd and 5, ball in the 44. Reigning, I guess the Super Bowl MVP in the building. That's Tom Brady. Talk about a little pressure. This is what you live for when you play quarterback in the NFL, right here.
All right, Falk in the backfield. Signals being called. Brady takes. Brady to throw. Brady throws underneath. It's caught out at midfield by Troy Brown, lunging forward and has a first down. Picked up 6, covered up by the weak side linebacker, Will Witherspoon.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Tom Brady sitting in there. Good pass rush by Shane Burton and also by Preston Buckner right up the middle. And I'll tell you what, Tom Brady now has them at the line of scrimmage. They're going to their no-huddle offense. I guess they feel like there's some fatigue setting in on that defensive line for the Panthers.
Panthers up by 1, 22-21. Now out of the gun, Brady with the handoff. He has Falk try to stutter step his way and has a short pickup. Al Wallace able to make the stop. Wallace, 4-year man out of Maryland. The Maryland guys out there.
They're all out there. How about defensive Maryland guys? That's pretty good. And you know, John Dockery and you and I have been doing games for a couple of years now, and I think both of you know that I hate going for two too early in the game, and that's basically the only point that I was making, that you're chasing points when you really don't have to until the game gets down into crunching time like right now.
3-yard pickup for Falk, second down, and 7 at midfield. Here's Brady taking, rolling to his right. He throws, he completes. Inside the 30 has Gibbons. He's bumped out of bounds as he works his way inside the 25-yard line. A floater thrown by Brady. It's a 24-yard pass play. The catch made by Gibbons took the hit from Deion Grant. And here are the Patriots now with a first down at the Carolina 22.
And again, another blitz by the Carolina Panthers, this time coming up the middle, and they force Tom Brady to break the pocket, roll to the right. And Gibbons gets wide open down the sideline as he gets away from Ricky Manning Jr., that very talented defensive back rookie who had the big game 2 weeks ago against Philadelphia.
24-yard advance. Now Brady with the handoff. Antoine Smith dancing at the line of scrimmage and perhaps picked up a yard. Nowhere to go. Mike Bitter, Dan Morgan combined to make the tackle. We're down to 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. The New England Patriots trailing for the first time since back before Thanksgiving. This team has won 14 straight games going back to the regular season. The Panthers coming from behind. They lead at 22-21. It's a 2nd and 9 now at the 21-yard line. Antoine Smith, Larry Centers in the backfield. Brady takes the snap, facing the rush. He throws, and it is incomplete. He had an offensive lineman in the area, and a penalty marker is down. I don't know if Ashworth made contact.
It's probably going to be a legal touching, Marv. And remember, Adam Vinatieri has already missed 2 field goals tonight. Could the game be on the line the next time he comes on the field? That's going to be awful interesting. I'm going to go down to the Super Bowl today set, so I'll talk to you from down there.
A lot of scoring when you were down there last time at the end of the first half.
All right, man. I'll see you in a little bit.
Dan Morgan putting the pressure on Tom Brady, and here's the call.
Illegal touching of the pass by the offense. Number 68 and ineligible. The penalty is declined. Brings up 3rd down.
And that illegal touch by the right tackle, Tom Ashworth, happened to be a tight end in college at Colorado, but that was not the intent of the Patriots. So it's a 3rd down and 9 at the 21. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Panthers 22, Patriots 21. Brady out of the shotgun. Brady takes the snap, rolling right, looking downfield, fires. It is caught inside the 10 by Gibbons, breaks a tackle, picks up a couple more. He is stopped by Ricky Manning Jr., went for 18 on the play. Patriots with a first and goal down at the 3-yard line. That's an 18-yard hookup. 5th catch of the game for 68 yards by Gibbons. First and goal at the 3 with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Nice job by the fullback Larry Centers picking up the blitz to help Brady. Richard Seymour checks into the backfield once again as the blocking back. And here is the handoff. A handoff for Antoine Smith running to his right, gets down near the goal line. And the ball was knocked free, but he was down by contact. Down at they'll place it at the 2. They say his forward progress was stopped at that point. Dan Morgan with yet another tackle. It'll be a 2nd and goal down at the 2, and that's 17 tackles for the Panthers middle linebacker, who has been terrific in the postseason, Dan Morgan. Ball spotted just inside the 2. Antoine Smith, the running back. 2nd and goal, 1.5 yards away. Here's Brady to throw. He throws end zone. Touchdown! It is caught by Mike Vrabel, who Mike Seymour, an eligible receiver. Mike Vrabel, the outside linebacker, on the touchdown catch, and the Patriots recapture the lead. And there's no question this is a New England crowd here in Houston. The attendance 71,525, and a good portion rooting for the Patriots. And it appears that Bill Belichick will go for 2. That's another red zone touchdown, and with that touchdown, Milwaukee Electric Tool makes another donation to Habitat for Humanity. Milwaukee Electric Tool, look for the red zone at your local distributor hardware store or home center. So the New England Patriots will attempt a 2-point conversion. Mike Vrabel with 6 tackles, 2 sacks, and a touchdown reception. Certainly moving up the ladder in terms of MVP consideration. Also forced a fumble to set up New England's first touchdown. We're down to 2 minutes and 51 seconds remaining. In the fourth quarter, the Patriots now lead 27-22. And while the Panthers have failed twice on 2-point conversions, here are the Patriots going for the 2, which would make for a 7-point differential. 11 plays, 68 yards in 4 minutes and 2 seconds for that touchdown drive. Kevin Falk is in the backfield. Brady works out of the gun, and it's a fake out of the gun. Falk takes the direct snap and runs it in. Bill Belichick going for some chicanery. Direct snap to Kevin Falk, and he drove forward off right tackle for the 2 points. Tom Brady sold it well. The Patriots lead the Panthers 29-22. Right here, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is CBS Radio Sports and Westwood One, your exclusive home for Super Bowl 38. Back in Houston, Marv Albert, former Esiason, John Dockery, John Riggin, Jim Gray. You can log on to Superbowl.com and vote for the Super Bowl MVP. Your vote counts in determining the winner. Just log on to Superbowl.com. Now, one of the voters is our own Boomer Esiason. I'm told Boomer is hooked up with the wireless down at the NFL Today said.
I am, Marv, and what an impressive drive put together by the New England Patriots and led by Tom Brady, who probably felt pretty ill after throwing that interception and ultimately losing the lead to the Carolina Panthers. But what a big-time drive put together that time by Tom Brady and his offensive teammates.
All right, here's the kickoff by Vinatieri. Steve Smith is now back deep, takes it to the goal line. Out to the 5, he's to the 10, 15, angles to the left, to the 20, finds some room, he's out to the 30, penalty marker comes flying as he's run out of bounds across the 35-yard line. Beautiful return by Smith, and he was run out by the kicker, Adam Vinatieri, but there is a flag down.
Well, I think they're going to take it back. It looks like there's going to be some sort of penalty on the kickoff return team of the Panthers. But, Marv, I can't even begin to tell you how impressive that drive was. I mean, to come back, the heat of the moment, down by a point.
There was no foul on the hit out of bounds. The player was just off balance. So there was no foul over here. However, there was holding by the receiving team, number 57, on the return. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Carolina keeps the ball, first down.
It is on Lester Towns. Boomer, how about that direct snap for the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, it was a pretty good play. You know, a lot of teams have that in their playbook, and sometimes, you know, you figure a direct snap, you can catch the defense sleeping, and you only got to gain about 2 yards. So that was a You know, it happens, but to use it in the Super Bowl, it just kind of makes it a little bit more special. And right now, this is what legends are made of. And let's see whether or not Jake Delhomme has any more in him, because he certainly has made a few this year for the Carolina Panthers.
He has a 1st and 10 from the 20. Delhomme on play action throws. On the screen has Foster making his way across the 25 to the 29, right up near the marker. Looks like a 9-yard pickup. Right now, Mike Vrabel is carving out the Super Bowl legend with that touchdown catch. Incidentally, the second TD in his 7-year NFL career and his first catch of the season. Here is Foster on the handoff, has the first down, and then he is submarine as he crosses the 35, hit down by Rodney Harrison. So it is a first down for the Panthers with 2:05 and counting remaining as we come up on the 2-minute warning. Well, Delhomme able to get it away and completes to Muhammad. Just did beat the 2-minute warning. Muhammad makes the catch at midfield, able to run it out of bounds across the 45. That's good for 19. Again, it is Harrison on the tackle, and we now have officially reached the 2-minute warning, brought to you by LiftMaster, the world's #1 professionally installed garage door opener, made by Chamberlain. Both teams still do have 3 timeouts remaining. It's the Patriots 29, the Panthers 22. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One.
Log on to Superbowl.com for everything you need to know about Super Bowl 38 in Houston. Stats, features, history, video, and more. Only at Superbowl.com. Now back to Westwood One's exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38.
Super Bowl 38 developing into one of the most stunning in the history of this series. 29-22, Patriots over the Panthers. Just under 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Here is Delhomme back to throw on first down. He fires down. Oh, what a catch by Ricky Cole down inside the 15. He's taken down by Sean Mayer. There are problems now in that New England secondary. Eugene Wilson is out. He was shaken up earlier on the touchdown catch by Muhammad, and Rodney Harrison was shaken up, and he is sidelined. So they have Sean Mayer, they have Curtis Atkins, the Aikens in at safety, 31-yard pass play.
And Asante Samuel's in there too, Marv. You know, they're in their nickel package, and they're playing against the pass. And how big is Ricky Prohl? I mean, just comes up with big catch after big catch. But how cool is Jake Delhomme? I mean, just standing right in there and firing the ball. Now listen, 7 points down. The Panthers they score a touchdown. I think somebody on one sideline said, we're not going to go into overtime. You got to kick the extra points. You can't go for 2. Oh, my goodness.
Who are you referring to?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I will say this, that this kid, Jake Delhomme, has made me a believer. I mean, he's doing this against a very good defense, and he's hanging in there, and he's making throws, and what a game we have. Whoa.
First down at the 14-yard line. How about those missed field goals by Vinatieri, though one was blocked? They have come into play. Now, Foster in the backfield. Delhomme has turned it around in the second half after the 1-for-9 start. Here's Delhomme to throw. Looking, throwing, end zone, and it is incomplete. A leaping attempt, but it's through the hands of Muhammad.
Well, surprising, Muhammad was actually in front of Aikens, the safety. I thought he should have caught it. I mean, it was high. This is exactly where you want to throw the ball down here if you're Jake Delhomme, because if your guy doesn't get it and it's tipped, it's going to go out of the end zone, and that's exactly what happens. I thought Mooson could have had that.
A minute 38 remaining in regulation. Patriots 29, Panthers 22. Panthers break the huddle. They're to the line. It's a 2nd and 10 down at the 14-yard line. They spread it out. Foster, the lone deep back, but now flanks to the right side. Here's Delhomme taking the snap. Looking, has time. He throws in the right flat. It's caught inside the 15 by the tight end, Chris Mangum. Picked up just 2 on the play. Ty Law, who has been very quiet tonight, able to make the stop.
3rd and 8, and Jake Delhomme is electing not to call a timeout. He's staying at the line of scrimmage, and he's calling his play. Boy, what a cool customer.
It's a 3rd and 8 at the 12. He's out of the gun. Delhomme takes, looking end zone. He throws as an open man. Touchdown! Ricky Cole, the has made the catch here tonight. A 12-yard touchdown pass play, Kroll with his 4th reception of the game, and the Panthers.
And I'll tell you, Marv, there was a screw-up in the secondary for the Patriots. Both safeties were on the same side. Ricky Kroll came wide open. You talk about big catches. I think back to that 3rd down catch at the end of the first half. It allowed the Panthers to go on to score.
All right, the Panthers down by 1. Here's the try for the point after the snap. Placed down. The kick is up. It is good by John Casey. So the game is tied at 29.
Man, what a 4th quarter for the Panthers. 19 points. Who would have thought this game was going to be this high scoring with these two defenses on the field? But both quarterbacks have been electrifying. When you think about mistakes, you think about the Vinatieri missed field goals, you think about Tom Brady's interception. You also think about John Fox's. He elects to go for 2 after they scored their first touchdown at the beginning of the 4th quarter. They could be up by 2 points right now instead of being tied.
Down to 1:08 remaining in the 4th. Malone now 16 of 33, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns. This after the lackluster start as he was facing the pressure, facing different looks from the Patriots. 4 catches apiece from Muhammad, Smith, and Kroll. And now Casey will kick it off the deep men, Bethel Johnson and Kevin Falk. The game is tied at 29.
And the Patriots have all 3 timeouts left, Marv, and then the legend of Tom Brady grow even larger than it already is.
All right, Casey getting ready to approach, and here it is. The kick is angled to the right, a line drive. It carries out of bounds, and the flag comes flying. Whoa.
Whoa, what a bad kick by Casey.
He kicked it off out of bounds. It will be placed at the 40-yard line. New England's ball, first down.
Oh, my goodness gracious. John Casey, one of the best kickers in the league, makes one of the biggest mistakes in the biggest moments of his career.
So the ball is placed at the New England 40-yard line. They get superb field position with 1:08 to go in this 4th quarter.
Oof, boy, you know, it's just those unforced errors, as they say in tennis, that just come back to haunt you.
All right, Patriots 1st and 10 from the 40 with Kevin Falk in the backfield. Long count as Brady looks it over, has some words with Falk. Brady stepped away, now ducks back in and takes. He's back to throw. He throws. It is incomplete. Intended at midfield for Deion Branch. And the numbers on Brady, 28 of 44, 307 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that 1 interception, which was critical.
Yeah, it really doesn't talk about what kind of game he's played, simply because it has been extremely physical for him. And this time, on this last play, Peppers and Rucker both met back at Brady. So he's hanging in there. A lot of pressure.
2nd and 10 from the New England 40. Falk remains in the backfield. Brady out of the gun. Brady takes. He throws. He completes out of the 45. Completes to Brown. Works his way to midfield and has a first down. Ricky Manning Jr. made the tackle, a 13-yard advance. And a timeout is called. Timeout called by New England, so they will have 2 left with 51 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. When we resume, they have a first down at the Carolina 47. Game is tied at 29. A game that was scoreless until the final minutes of the first half, and then the teams combined for 24 points, all 24 points of the half in the final 3.5 minutes of that first half. New England Patriots, with that 14-game winning streak, have led in every game since just before Thanksgiving. That particular streak concluded here tonight. All at Patriots to the line. 1st and 10 at the Panther 47. Out of the shotgun, Brady takes. He throws downfield and is caught inside the 30. Caught by Troy Brown. He's taken down and a flag is tossed.
This could be offensive pass interference right here on Troy Brown, and that's what it looks like it's going to be. And I'll tell you what, Tom Brady and Troy Brown are in sync with one another. I could see from my
Pass
vantage point.
interference, offense number 80. It was a push-off. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And Boomer, the push-off by Brown on the corner, Terry Cousin.
And I was going to say, I could see how Brady and Brown and his receivers are really on the same page, because Brady came back, planted on his 5th foot, and threw the ball to the back shoulder of Troy Brown as he was running up the numbers. And he did push off ever so slightly, but just enough. And I'll tell you what, the referees are really watching it closely tonight, and they give them a lot of credit. Most of the calls have been the right thing.
So it's a 1st and 20 back at the New England 43. Here's Brady taking out of the gun, rolling left, turns, throws, leaping catch made at the Carolina 45 by Brown. It is short of a first down. Cousin and Witherspoon providing the coverage. Good for 13. That'll bring up a 2nd and 7 at the 44-yard line. 22 seconds to go in the 4th. Brady takes. He throws in the left flat. It is caught by Daniel Graham at the 40. Picked up about 4 on the play, met by Reggie Howard.
And Marv, I'm surprised that Tom Brady didn't call timeout on that last completion to Troy Brown, because he allowed about 12 to 15 seconds off the clock. And he had 2 timeouts, and he should have used that 2nd timeout after that last pass completion. And he just wasted about 14 seconds, I believe. And, you know, the guys on the sideline got to tell him to call timeout if he's not aware of it. But when you have 2 timeouts like that, and you complete a pass inbounds, and you're under 25 seconds, you got to use that 2nd timeout.
And now he takes the timeout, so we have 15 seconds remaining in the 4th. It'll be a 3rd and 3 at the 40-yard line in Panther territory. This at this spot would be a 57-yard attempt for Adam Vinatieri, who had one blocked and missed from M31. He has not kicked from 50 all season long, or has not been able to connect from 50. It's a 3rd down and 3 at the 40-yard line, and Patriots will stay with Kevin Falk in the backfield. Patriots to the line, led by the center, Dan Copeland. Brady out of the shotgun. Signals being called. Brady takes. He's back to throw. He has time. He throws. It is caught at the near side inside the 25 by Deion Blanche. Patriots do have the 1 timeout left with 8 seconds to go in the 4th, and they take the timeout. Mike Minter able to make the stop on Branch, and now it's a 17-yard pickup, and now they change the clock. 9 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter.
Well, it was a nice play by Tom Brady utilizing the sideline. Branch couldn't get out because the ball was a little bit thrown behind him, but they did have that extra timeout. I still think he should have used that 2nd timeout. However, 2 previous completions ago, or they might even have another shot to get a little bit closer for Adam Vinatieri. But you got to wonder what's going through the kicker's mind right here. And then you talk about living a dream and thinking about when you were a kid and having the game on the line, and it's right there for your taking. And you have one of the best field goal kickers in the history of this league in pressure-packed situations.
All right, Super Bowl 36, it was Adam Vinatieri who hit from 48 yards away as time ran down. And now Vinatieri, with 9 seconds to go, will attempt from 41 yards out.
You think John Casey is hoping that he misses this?
The game is tied at 29. They line up, and now the Panthers take a timeout. New England has had difficulties with long snaps. Brian Kinchin with a couple that went astray. In fact, the punter, Ken Walter, was able to make a good play on one to save an extra point. 9 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. We have seesawed in this second half. Panthers and Patriots tied at 29. Carolina team that has been very successful in blocking kicks. They did block a Tampa Bay extra point to send the game into overtime during the regular season.
And remember, that was Chris Jenkins. And again, John Casey, the kicker for the Panthers. Remember, he kicked the ball out of bounds. That gave the Patriots the ball on their own 40 to start this drive. And remember, all those big, tall guys, Julius Peppers, Chris Jenkins, Matt Willig, they're all in the middle of the pile right here.
All right, 41-yard attempt. Signals being called. The snap from Kingston, puts out by Walter. The kick by Vinatieri is up, and it is good. It is good with 4 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Patriots have taken a 32-29 lead. Adam Vinatieri, who had missed his 2 previous, one was blocked. Adam Vinatieri, who is the hero of Super Bowl 36, by connecting in the final seconds to win it for New England, has just hit from 41 yards away.
Well, I'll tell you, Marv, Super Bowl finally living up to its billing, and both quarterbacks on both sides of this field were tremendous. Tremendous how they responded to the adversity, the perseverance that both of them showed, especially Tom Brady, who had to come back and lead his team to the ultimate drive-winning plays. And I have to tell you that Jake Delhomme represented himself and his Panthers represented themselves extremely well. It's unfortunate that somebody has to go home a loser, but many will remember this Super Bowl as one of the greatest ever played, if not the greatest ever played.
And it was a perfect snap, perfect hold for Vinatieri, who kicked it right through. And now Ron Smart, Steve Smith are back deep. I don't think it's going to get that far as Vinatieri gets set to kick it off with just 4 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. All right, here is Vinatieri, ready to approach from the left. And the kick, well, he does boot it away. It is taken at the goal line, taken by Smart, runs it out, 10, 15, 20, nowhere to go. He is tackled across the 20, and that will do it. Rod Smart brought down by Matt Chatham, and the New England Patriots have won their second Super Bowl in the last 3 years. And they do it again by virtue of the leg of Adam Vinatieri, who certainly had his problems earlier, but he kicks the game winner. And Bill Belichick becomes the 8th coach to win 2 Super Bowl. Super Bowl 38 in a thriller won by the Patriots over the Carolina Panthers.
Marv, what a fantastic football game. So many judgment calls, so many critical calls by the coaches of both teams, so many great plays made by wide receivers, running backs, and of course the defenses. And what can you say? Tom Brady, the legend, continues to grow. I'm sure he'll be the MVP of this Super Bowl. I might be wrong, but I doubt it. And I think Jake Delhomme represented himself so fabulously that the Carolina Panthers certainly have nothing to be ashamed of.
A sea of confetti on the field right now. It is bedlam. The Patriot players congratulating each other. Tom Brady finishes 32 of 48, 354 yards, 3 touchdowns, intercepted once. Jake Delhomme, who turned it after the slow start, was just 1 for his first 9, and 16 of 33, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery.
Thank you, Marv Albert. I'm with Ty Law. Ty Law! Ty Law is being hugged by Tom Brady. It is chaotic down here. They're hugging one another. Ty Law, tell me about this game compared to the last Super Bowl win for you.
Man, it's incredible anytime you can come this far, play such a hard game. And Adam Vinatieri is incredible, man. You put the pressure on him, he always comes through, man. And it feels great. I mean, words can't explain the way it feels, man.
What about the game itself? Did you expect this kind of offense?
Let me walk. Huh? Did you say?
This kind of game from Carolina, they threw the ball well.
Yeah, we give those guys a lot of respect, a lot of credit. I mean, they're a hell of a football team. victory. What did Coach Belichick tell the guys at halftime? Told them to just do your job, play one play at a time. Is this, like I said, a game that you've been involved in? I mean, the bedlam here and the excitement coming from behind. Did you guys know when you went out here in the second half you was going to get this game? No, we didn't know we were going to get it because it was tied at the half. You know, we knew we were facing a good team, played good solid defense, good sound offense, so we just knew we had to play one play at a time. All right, thank you, Romeo. Over to John.
Yes, I am. I'm with David Gibbons, who's up on the fence. And David, tell me about this game. What was the turning point of this game?
Man, I have to say we've been making big plays, man. Offense had a great week of practice the last 2 weeks, and our goal is to come out, make plays when we had opportunity. You know, that's all we did.
What this defense is certainly superlative for Carolina. What was your game plan coming in?
You know, our game plan as an offense was to, you know, do what we knew we could do, move the ball on them, and, you know, that's what we did. You know,
You seemed to make some adjustments at halftime that really allowed you to move the ball through the air. What were they?
You know, at halftime, we knew the coverage they were playing. They were playing a lot of man coverage, and, you know, we had some plays to counteract that. I think our quarterback did a great job of finding open man, and our defense did a great job of holding their offense.
Tom Brady's very special. Thank you, David Gibbons. John Riggins, over to you.
Well, John, I don't know about you, but it was just unbelievable. The crush of people that I saw. I saw Bill Belichick and Tom Brady fight to get to each other. People swirling all about him, and they were hugging. I mean, this is quite a sight down here. I'm going to try and grab Tom Brady right now. Tom. Okay, Tom, what are getting upstairs? That was Tom Brady. He's going to go upstairs and get on the thing. John, what do you got?
I am with the man of the moment again in Adam Vinatieri. You did it again. What was going through your mind?
I tell you what, it was just one of those things. Another game that we fought hard, came down to the end. The guys fought all game long, and it was just nice to be able to have the opportunity to finish it off.
You did it 2 years ago, and you do it again today.
Never gets old. Never, ever gets old winning these things. Heck of a fought game, I tell you what. It was just amazing.
But Adam, you were having some trouble early on. You missed one. One was blocked. Extra points were shaky. What was the problem?
They did a good job. You know, they get paid too. They had a good rush on the one that they blocked. And I tell you, it's just whenever you get a chance at the end, you just have to make the best of it.
Adam Vinatieri, congratulations. Riggins, over to you.
Hey, Tom, what was it? Is this like another Super Bowl, another MVP?
We did it.
Well, right now, Tom Brady and Matt Lane are hugging right here in front of me, and I think that Tom Brady is so caught up in the moment that he's almost unconscious. He's walking around, he's shaking hands with Mrs. Kraft. Mr. Kraft's up in the victory stand. We've got Antoine Smith. Antoine, the greatest game you've ever played in?
By far. I thought it couldn't get any more exciting than the Rams Super Bowl, but this one right here, it's an exciting, hard-fought game. Give Carolina some credit. They played an exceptional game.
How did it feel playing here in front of your home fans and getting a touchdown? Is this like a lifetime dream come true?
Guess what? I think every athlete dreams of coming home and playing the Super Bowl at home. And to score, that made it that much sweeter.
I heard Charlie Weiss say this week that they weren't going to get away from running the football. Did he come to you this week and say, Antoine, get ready, you're going to have to help us win this game?
Yeah, we didn't want to put it all on Brady. We know we was going to have to go in there and stress for every yard we get in the running game. Hey, one thing he didn't abandon, it wasn't productive as we would like, but we did just enough to get the job done.
What did you guys feel when you came back with that last touchdown, or you scored the last touchdown to tie the game, or they tied you up, and then you got the ball back when you got the kick that went out of bounds? What did you think on the sideline?
Hey, we got the best 2-minute offense, I think, in the National Football League. We showed that time and time again. I had all the confidence that our guys could go down there and get the job done.
All right, Antoine, thanks a lot. Over to Doc.
John Riggins, I'm with Troy Brown, and Troy, it seems when it's on the line, you and Tom Brady have something special going.
Hey, I've earned a nickname Mr. Clutch from my teammates, so, we gave Adam Clutch too. And we just pull together when we need to and make big plays when we need to all across the board, man. You can never say enough about Tom Brady and how he just finds the open guys, and enough about our receiver group, man, I don't know about Steve Young and Warren Sapp, all those guys, man. Come on, we can't get up the jam and all that. We not physical. Those guys couldn't touch us all day. I don't know. Every time he was better than Ty Law. I just don't see it. We got the real number 24 on our team.
I understand. Who's this little guy in your arms?
This is Sanjay. This is my son, Sanjay.
Troy Brown is here with his son. And one last question. All right, let's go upstairs to you. Thank you, Troy.
All right, John. Troy Brown, 8 catches, 76 yards. One of the heroes for the Patriots right now. Let's go back down to the field. NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue presenting the Vince Lombardi Trophy
to Bob Kraft,
to Patriots owner
you and your family,
Bob Kraft.
to Coach Belichick and all of your players. Congratulations on your second Super Bowl victory in 3 years. 15 wins in a row. It's hard to top that. Here's the Vince Lombardi Trophy number 2.
And the head coach, the heart and soul of our team, showed us what the concept of teamwork is about. And then when that's combined with perseverance and commitment, great things happen. League high injuries were overcome, and we won 15 games in a row. Because of the concept of team. In today's era, people celebrate individuals and individual accomplishments. But my family and I are proud of this man, Coach Belichick, who instilled the values of power of teams. Because of that today, we have seen a true team and a true champion.
Congratulations, Mr. Kraft. Why don't you hand that trophy over there to Coach Belichick? Bill, how did your team do this today? Tell me about that last drive.
Well, you know, it was a great team effort again. You know, we've done it 15 weeks in a row, and I'm really fortunate. I have a great owner, and I've got a lot of great players, and they made a lot of great plays today.
Here, the Super Bowl MVP. Once again, it's Tom Brady. And if you can look right over there, Tom, I know this never gets old. You win a choice of Cadillacs. The Cadillac XLR Roadster is here. I call it a breakthrough performance like Cadillac calls it, but you've done this before. Tell me about this courageous effort today by the Patriots.
Well, I think you give a lot of credit to Carolina. That's the toughest team as we played all season, and the heart of the guys you see in front of me here, the heart of the coaching staff and the organization, I'm just so proud to be the quarterback. And none of it would be possible without these guys and all the fans we got back in Boston. Careful on that city. Don't tear that thing down tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. We want to see you out there Tuesday for the parade, all right?
Tom Brady, most valuable player for the second time, as he went 32 of 48, 354 yards, 32 completions, a new Super Bowl record. Brady is now 6-0 in postseason competition. The completion record, breaking the old mark, Jim Kelly completing 31 passes back in Super Bowl 28. Also, a new Super Bowl record for most points in a quarter, as they combined for 37 points. Carolina with 19, New England with 18. In fact, Panthers scored touchdowns on their last 3 possessions. And how about Adam Vinatieri, who was 0 for his first 2 in terms of field goal attempts. 1 was a block. Throughout his career, Vinatieri has now kicked 16 game-winning field goals in the final minutes of the fourth quarter or in overtime, and that ranks 3rd among active kickers, Morton Anderson, Steve Christie, and Vinatieri. Let's go back downstairs to John Riggins.
Thanks, Marvin. I'm standing right now with the MVP of Super Bowl 38, Tom Brady. And Tom, before this game started, did you just concentrating on the game, or did the idea of becoming the MVP for the second time in 3 years cross your mind?
I had no idea. I think we came into this game expecting a tough game. That's just what we got. And as it did the last time we were here, it came down to the last play, and Adam obviously banged that ball right down the middle like he has all season. So just a great win. Couldn't be happier.
What do you think happened right before the half when all the scoring? There was about 3 minutes and there was 24-point burst by both teams. Was there anything out there that you saw defensively that the Carolina Panthers were doing that you exploited?
We hit them on a deep play, hit them on a deep post, and that kind of opened it up for us. And got down there, and David made a great catch in the end zone, and Nick came down and made a great kick. So.
Well, I got to ask you this. You go down and you throw the interception where it looked like you score this touchdown, the game is over with. Yeah. What were you thinking on that play? And once you got to the sideline, what were you thinking over there?
Well, I was trying to get the ball over that guy's head and throw Christian, and I thought I had him, and I just didn't get enough on it. And the DB made a nice play. Just one of those things you wish you had back. But
all right, Tom, I'm sorry I got to cut you off, but we got Coach Belichick. Doc, over to you.
Thank you, John Riggins. I'm with Coach Belichick, as you mentioned. And Coach, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, 15 in a row. What is it about this team that makes you and them so good?
Well, we got a lot of great players, and they really stepped up today. It was obviously a hard-fought game. Carolina's got a great team and a great franchise. You got to give them all the credit in the world, but we made a couple more plays than they did, and it was a terrific drive and a big kick. Adam came through like he has so many times for us.
You're making a habit of this. How does this compare to the first one 2 years ago?
They're both really special. I mean, this is such a special team. To win 15 in a row, to just meet all comers. The competition week after week and be able to step up to it. I'm just so proud of these players.
When you started off with such a downer, 31-0, you lose to Buffalo, you put it all together. How did that happen?
These guys just keep fighting and keep on working and try to improve, and we got better through the course of the year.
I'll tell you, it's something very special. Congratulations, Coach. Good luck, Jack. Take care. Marv, back to you.
All right, Doc. Bill Belichick in his 29th straight season as a NFL coach has had amazing success. He's now been a part of 4 Super Bowl championship teams, 2 with the Giants under Bill Parcells, and now 2 as the head coach of the New England Patriots, and the 15 straight wins, as Bill mentioned. That is the second longest single-season winning streak in NFL history, including playoff games, second only to the 1972 Miami Dolphins, who won more consecutive games in the season on their way to a record of 17-0. Incidentally, for appearing as a guest on our post-game show, Tom Brady, Adam Vinatieri received Bulova watches, Bulova keeping America's time for generations. Again, the final score in one of the most stirring Super Bowl games of all time, perhaps the greatest Super Bowl of all time, and this Super Bowl 38. Final score, the Patriots 32 and the Panthers 29. We'll be back with more of our post game in a moment. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. We're back in Houston, where the New England Patriots have won their second Super Bowl within the last 3 years, 32-29 victory over the Carolina Panthers. Time now for our Rolaids moment, and have to say, with a minute 8 remaining in the fourth quarter, John Casey of the Panthers kicking off, kicked it out of bounds, giving New England a short field. The ball placed at the 40, and it led to Tom Brady engineering the drive that put Adam Vinatieri in position to kick the game winner from 41 yards away. That's tonight's Rolaids moment, brought to you by Extra Strength Rolaids and Acids. For every Rolaids moment this season, Pfizer will make an extra strength donation to the Boomer Esiason Foundation, dedicated to beating cystic fibrosis. We've been talking about the impressive numbers of the New England Patriots. How about Jake Delhomme, a guy who was a backup for many years with New Orleans, winning the starting job early on, taking over from Rodney Peete, taking this team to the Super Bowl. Got off to the slow start, 1 for his first 9 and 5 for 15. He finished 11 of 18 in the fourth quarter. The number 16 for 33, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Panthers scoring on their last 3 possessions. And the other star for Carolina, their middle linebacker, Dan Morgan, 18 tackles for Morgan. Time now for a Kia Motors drive of the game, and it would be that final drive, 6 plays, 37 yards, within a minute 4 which concluded with the 41-yard field goal by Vinatieri. So that is our drive of the game, brought to you by Kia Motors. Make every mile count. Again, that final score here in Houston. The Patriots 32, the Panthers 29. More to come. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 38 on Westwood One. Welcome back to Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. Boomer has concluded his duties down on the set for NFL Today. Boomer, was this the best Super Bowl game you have ever seen?
I think without question, Marv. And, I know how John Fox and his Carolina Panthers feel. You fight all day, game long. You actually get the lead in the fourth quarter. And, you ultimately lose it to a great quarterback in Tom Brady, much like we lost it to Joe Montana. And then, of course, Adam Vinatieri kicks the game-winning field goal. So many decisions that took place in this game, and you never know how they're going to play out. But I'll tell you what, it was a fantastic Super Bowl, and super was the appropriate word. And those of us down here in the Super Bowl Today set were just, awestruck, and our breath was taken away because it was a magnificent performance by both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks worthy of MVPs. I thought the defenses played well early in the game, but I think just ran out of gas, and Tom Brady and Jake Delhomme just had too much for them.
All right, Boomer, we'll get back to you in a moment. John Dockery is alongside the owner of the Patriots, Bob Kraft. Doc?
And Bob Kraft just is congratulating some of his players. And
congratulating.
Oh, I know. We talked to him a little while ago. What a family, huh? It's about family, isn't it?
He's got a beautiful family. His wife, his kids, super.
And you have a pretty good organization and family in the Patriots family. What is it that makes this organization run so well?
There's three ways you hire people. I do. Number one, you want character and integrity. Number two, you want work ethic. And number three, you want brains. And 1 and 2 are more important than 3. You can buy brains. In all my businesses, I try to have people that fit those categories. And if you have good people around you, good things happen.
You're talking about your head coach, obviously.
Talking about my head coach, the organization, talking about my immediate family that's been great support to me and given me great help. Congratulations,
Bob. Good luck, huh? All right, back up to you, Marv.
All right, John Dockery, brought to you by Consort Hair Care from Ed, guaranteed to give you great hold. Time for tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbUSA.com. And Boomer, would you agree that it is the MVP, Tom Brady?
I would totally agree. And, Marv, after he threw that interception in his own end zone, you had to wonder whether or not he was going to be able to bounce back. And, I'm never going to second-guess this kid anymore. I mean, the miracles just keep coming as far as the football playing is concerned. And he overcame that, and I know he's sick about it. But at the end of the day, I think it just makes his legend grow that much bigger. And, boy, what a game he had. I mean, 32 completions, a Super Bowl record, and he did it on a winning team, which makes it even that much more special.
Boomer, my runner-up candidate, the outside linebacker, Mike Vrabel, who also was sensational.
Oh, he was. He had a couple sacks early in the game. He had obviously scored a touchdown on a pass reception. I mean, that kid was all over the place. And, he's kind of like the consummate New England Patriot because, he was kind of a cast-off coming out of Pittsburgh. You have guys like him and Roman Pfeiffer, Willie McGinnis, older guys, bounce around a little bit, not very expensive, but they make plays, and they make plays in big games. And, I mean, that's kind of like what the New England Patriots is all about. We just heard Bob Kraft talk about, family and how he hires the people who work for him. Well, those guys are all classic examples of, number 1, brains, number 2, work ethic, and number 3, character. You mold all those together, what do you get? Well, it's a Super Bowl champion.
And Boomer, once again, it was great working with you this season.
Well, Marv, I look forward to our first get-together next September for our first Monday night game. I'll be over in Hawaii with Dave Sims and Bonnie Bernstein, and it's always a pleasure working with an icon within our business. Marv, I love you, man. Have a good basketball season as you go forth.
I think we'll see you courtside, I'm sure, right?
You definitely will now that the Knicks got a team again.
There's some signs, 2 straight wins the last couple of days.
A little life, man. My man Isaiah Thomas is making it happen at the Garden.
All right, right here we'll check in downstairs with John Riggins. John?
Marv, there's very little I think I can add in the post-game after you see a game like this. I saw it from the very beginning. I have never seen 2 teams want a game as badly as Carolina and the Patriots did. It reminds me of the great fights between Ali and Frazier. One buddy would get knocked down, they'd get right back up and knock the other guy down, and it went back and forth. And the only thing I can say, it's just a shame in this instant that they couldn't have awarded co-MVPs, because I'll tell you, the performance that Tom Brady and Jake Delhomme put on has never been, it's unparalleled in Super Bowl history. It was without a doubt the greatest game, and all the guys that were involved in this game, everybody gave everything they had. There is no need for anybody today to walk out here to hang your head, but it's unfortunate that the Carolina Panthers are going to go home as runner-ups in the Super Bowl. All right, Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. John, of course, knows about Super Bowl most valuable players. He was MVP in Super Bowl 17 in Pasadena back in January of '83 as Washington knocked off Miami. Now we'll get some final comments from Doc. Here's John.
You know, Marv, John Riggins and I were talking, and we were comparing it to a heavyweight fight where a punch is thrown and then a counter punch. And that's the way it was all day long. After the beginning, when there were no points scored for almost a quarter and a half, the floodgates opened, everyone relaxed a little bit, and then it was back and forth, back and forth. And I heard Boomer talking about character. It takes a lot of grit and character to come back in a game like this, the way both quarterbacks did. The shocking thing, I didn't realize Jake Delhomme was this good. I knew Carolina was good, but boy, Jake Delhomme showed something today. And of course, Tom Brady, after that INT, I thought it was over. If maybe the air would come out of his balloon, but no way. He takes him down for the win. And Vinatieri, the Iceman, I knew he was going to make it. And I just think, like John, it was a spectacular Super Bowl. Two heavy hitters going at it.
And a host of individual excellent performances aside from Brady and Delhomme. Antoine Smith, 26 carries, 83 yards. Deion Branch, 10 receptions, 143 yards, and a touchdown. We talked earlier about Troy Brown, 8 catches, 76 yards. Patriots in all 481 yards offensively. Panthers 387 after only 13 yards in the first quarter. And once again, what a performance by Dan Morgan, the middle linebacker for the Panthers, with 18 tackles. Again, the final score, the Patriots 32, the Panthers 29. We'll have more of our post-game from Houston in a moment. First, we'll give our local stations a chance to break for a message. This is Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 38. A dramatic Super Bowl victory for the New England Patriots. So the Patriots are the 2003-2004 Super Bowl champs. To order your official New England Patriot locker room champs gear, you can click on shop at CBSSportsline.com. Our Bonnie Bernstein is downstairs with the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, John Fox. Bonnie?
John Fox, for as hard fought as this game was on both sides of the ball for you, how tough is this loss to swallow?
Well, they're all tough. This one in particular, because it's such a big stage, and I know it meant so much to our organization, our football team, and our coaching staff, and to come up short, obviously, is disappointing. But I'm very, very proud of our football team.
You always talk about the philosophy of your team. It's important to run the ball and stop the run. Now, the Foster touchdown aside, ironically, why was it that you struggled in those two areas?
Well, I think, basically what they gave us. I know our offense was able to throw the ball fairly effectively, especially in the second half, because of what they were doing defensively. And really, defensively, we were struggling to stop the pass, and then we had to commit more people to the pass defense, and they were able to run the ball.
Everybody said after watching the NFC Championship, and Jake Delhomme only had to throw 14 times, that the run was what this offense was all about. But on a day that the run wasn't working, how important was Jake's ability to throw the ball?
Well, I thought he kept us in the game. They kept battling back, and unfortunately, they got the ball last. And I think if we'd had a little more time ahead at another time, it might have been different.
1-15, the turnaround the last 2 years, win or loss today. How much of a testament is that to your staff and your players that you've been able to make that much of a jump?
Well, I think it's huge, and as I told them even before the game, I was going to be very, very proud of them no matter what happened. And even after this game, I was proud of their efforts, and it's been a lot of hard work by them, and they deserve where they are.
John, congratulations on a great season. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
John Fox, head coach of the Carolina Panthers, a team that had won 6